Gonna look for a little bit of extra engage as well, because they also need a little bit of that. They go towards the Nico. We have seen some fantastic engage moments coming out from stuff like Dway's Pop Blossoms recently. Had another 5-man Nico Pop Blossom the other day. And those are our compositions, folks. You tell me what you think. And we'll work it out from there, won't we? Yeah, so someone mentioned how many times has Breathe played in the 1v1 side select. In the Ascend stage, played 3 times and lost all 3. I know it's funny, but... Alright, let's hear some gyros. Where are your gyros? Let's hear it, crowd. Also, the crowd mics are really, I don't know, maybe we're not gyroing today. What the heck's up? There we go. The reason they're laughing is because he just kept going. That was like 5 Weibo gyros and nothing from JDG. JDG, hang on. Are JDG not cheering? Whoa. JDG in their own home arena, in the largest LPL arena that we have, not cheering today after losing to IG and FPX. And JDG not cheering today. Oh, that is not a great sign, actually, for JDG and the atmosphere around them. That's a statement from the fans. CV Max has left the team, for those of you that didn't know. They played really well versus IG. They did, and they lost, is the problem. They lost, despite... they should have won that 3rd game, realistically. Missing goes in for a headbutt level 1. Oh, good double Q, actually, from Airhead there. Doing well at the lane dominance at early levels. You do need to get lane dominance out of the eco, of course. It's kind of one of the key parts of your champion. The thing about stuff like Varus Alistar or Ezreal Alistar is that the AD carry is meant to carry the Alistar through the first few levels of the game, and then the Alistar can start playing. The crowd went crazy for IG's win? Absolutely did. If you didn't catch the stream of that happening, go back and watch the clips. It'll be... I mean, there was clips on Reddit, which Darkwell posted, it's there. I posted on Twitter. The crowd went absolutely ballistic. Went absolutely ballistic when that... We had a Nexus steal... Sorry, a Baron steal into a Baron steal into Nexus to Nexus. It is the strangest game maybe I've ever seen. Very, very strange in terms of that ending. Fantastic. Wonderfully hype. You absolutely go watch on. The crowd was the loudest I've ever heard it. On these ones anyway. Absolutely, Emily. They in fact, if they had just played the Nexus Rush just slightly better, they would have actually won that team. Which is why JDG, after the embarrassment really of losing that series, needed to make changes. So Breathe has early push in top side. Hang on, this is early push from all 3 lanes. Can Tien do anything with that? Guess not, just going for a full clear. Her interesting tech there, by the way, sending out the clones so the next Ezreal Q wouldn't cleanly hit onto them. So even though the combo came through, can block some of that out. Ooh, good ledge Q from Scout. Scout's Ahri is something which I've come to appreciate more and more, you know. Not a champion I liked from him back in, say, 2023 or 2022. But I think last year he started to catch my eye on it a little bit. And, yeah. I think this year his Ahri's actually been a very good playmaker. Of course, you know, me forever the Ahri connoisseur. Many millions of points into that obsession. So, Scuttle's traded. I wonder whether Tien should have been able to get something more, you know, out of this early pushing lanes. Shen's going to be able to go into the enemy jungle, put down a ward, and recall now. He has a full clear on that Scuttle. Xiaohu walking up. Knowing that there's likely something here. Yeah, okay. There's a blue ping on that ward. They know that Shun is topside, and they know that he's... Do they know his warding patterns? Okay, so the camp respawns are coming through. Tien's going to be able to get towards them. Shun's going to a recall. Will get himself onto the map with a bit more combat stats. That's T2. Miss T2, Peanut. Miss T2. And yeah, for those of you... Oh, hang on a second. Breathe jumping forwards. Good grasp proc that. Get some good damage down. Yeah, so Sam and I took a couple of day break over the weekend to, you know, regain some energy and spend some much needed time with family and Angie and, you know, well, Angie is family, but, you know, yeah, you know, reset a little bit. Because Sam and I believe we've done about 160 hours of LPL this month, folks. This month. And that's without the stuff that we did last split. And, you know, found the place. We do love spending that time with you, telling the stories of these great teams. You know, Weibo and JDG, both teams which I've seen rise and fall. Ooh, nasty W trade there from FaZe. Of course, FaZe's been fantastic for JDG. I think that, I think the two best players on JDG have been FaZe and Scout. And that missing's been up and down. I think Shun has been largely good, but also had some fumbles as well. Ala, a bit hard to tell sometimes. Ooh, Charm around the corner. Nice, great electrocute trade. Half the HP down from Xiaohu. Needs to get a combo back to trade it back to Evening. Okay, good trade back from Xiaohu. If he hadn't had that, that would have been very, very disastrous, because with Scout closing in on level 6, could have potentially been an issue. You know what? I almost would have flashed out of that combo with Scout, because I would have wanted to hold on to that HP advantage. Who has the better team composition? Hang on a second. Scout does go for the ult force. Does force the flash. Wonder whether... No, I don't think there was an angle for Charm Flash. I think Charm Flash still doesn't work, because I think Xiaohu still gets to flash away. Would have had to be double flash committed. And even then, I don't think it's a guaranteed kill. Whose team composition do I prefer? JDG have the temporary frontline of the Shinzao and the Alistar. I think Weibo have better follow-up if they land and engage. Look, I think if Nico gets a great ultimate, Weibo have the better composition. I think if Nico doesn't get a great ultimate, I think JDG have the better comp. Alright, so Scuttle not being able to be finished off by... sorry, no. The Scuttle finished off by Weibo, but the first grub was finished off by JDG. I think that the scaling, a bit arguable on about either side, because you do have something like the Nefiri, you do have the Kais. Hang on a second. Could be a bit of a problem. Missing does have flash. It's rooted anyway, buddy. Risky stuff. Missing blows both summoners. Easy one to give up there. Yeah, chat. We have feral chat activated again for reasons unbeknownst to me. Tien going to potentially towards dive on top side turret. Does have that W. Good double combo, but no one's taken aggro yet. I don't know, Missing. Missing has no combo now and just goes down. Is there any play under the turret there again? No. I don't know. Missing using the combo very freely there. I suppose FaZe lives. Who gets that kill? Nah does. I mean, no one had taken aggro there, so there was... Yeah, no one had taken aggro. It felt like a bit of a wasted combo. Maybe trying to mind game a little bit and say, ah, they're going to do damage now, and I'll CC them immediately after they start doing damage. I feel like Nah has more impact than Gwen these days. I don't think our late game Gwen performances have been ridiculous in LPL in the last week or two. Were you on the LEC the other night? I wasn't yesterday, but I was on the day before. So I was on day 1. I was on desk. Yeah, I was on with Odoamne and Shox on the desk. I wore a t-shirt which people liked. And that's a win for me. That's what I go on there to do. To, you know, look okay. Oh, man. All right, Dragon's up now. We're gonna get in, we are getting some pings towards that. So look, I do have a funny story to tell. I do have a funny story to tell. I'll figure out a time to say it. Chef are gonna be pushing up outside. Dragon's gonna take him by Tien. So that's gonna be slight objectively for Weibo. And you know, leading up to this series, the question was, hey, is JDG just clear favorites? Well, they've just kicked their coach. Weibo have changed their support, but it looks like Erha's doing pretty well, especially compared to Hung, who was very much struggling. I did have that feeling it was going to be close, and now we do have an early game where Weibo are ahead 1,000 gold. They do have the objective lead as well. That's arguably more important, actually. They have a global on their team in Talir, and they have a split pusher in Nah. I don't think Weibo are in a bad position. I think it makes it easier for them to play the macro. Scout's going towards the Rod of Ages build. I mean, I wonder if he has to do that this game because the initiation from their team is kind of weak. If you don't mind me asking, what does the average caster make in the LPL? Oh god, depending on the amount of days. Last year it got a bit weird. I would say... Oh, I wasn't there for when LPL casters actually got paid good money. And obviously, I don't know what the case is now. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say. Not sure I'm allowed to say. LEC, I don't think I'm allowed to say that. Because I'm not, yeah, and I don't want to do, yeah, I don't want to not be sure and then say, you know. It is different between casters. Of course, it depends on the amount of days that you get, because it's based on day rates, right? Good double Q there from Airher. That was an interesting sound effect. Thank you, Sinus. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back in it too. It's great to be involved in such a creative, exciting product. And I think that every single league this split has just decided it's going to be really weird and interesting. Now, we've had stuff like JDG IG, we have the Circle of Suck right now in the LPL, where all of our top teams have beaten each other, which I think is very exciting, makes it very hard to predict. We have LCK, where, I mean, our top teams there are looking a bit all over the place, and some of those games have been very, very entertaining. LEC, G2 just lost their series to BDS. Fnatic lost to SK. KC, you know, dropping games to teams like MKOI and to Heretics, stuff like that, right? I think LEC's been wonderful to watch. It's been a good split to be watching, I think, across the world. Shun spotted out. Second spawner grubs the freaking sound effect. Ooh, good trading from Breed. This could actually be a full-on kill. Force the flash out. Flash still available for Breed. Could flash allowed. Also, the 1,000 cuts, though. Doing a lot of work. Breed flashed on the spot and denies himself a solo kill. Not sure about that one. Grub started up on the other side. I feel like Breed threw a golden opportunity. First grub taken by Weibo. No smite used. Tian could stick around to smite the last one. Scout trying to get some damage through. Gets the electrocute onto Tian. Oh, triple ultimate from Pays. That's a lot of damage down. And I wonder whether that turns the tables. No smite going to come through. Tian, I guess, could have hopped over, looked to smite, then flash out. Couple of mistakes there from Weibo, particularly that Breed 1v1 on the bot side. I think that should have been a clear-cut solo kill. Ala gets the healing from 1,000 cuts. And gets out alive. Thoughts on the HLE Golden Road? With so many good teams and changing metas, I think it's very hard to get a Golden Road through across 3 international events and 3 splits. Shahu walking across that word, rock the wall on top side. They do spot the recalls in that. Shahu using that rock serving to get towards that tower quickly, so people forget about that. That's delay passive. Walk close to a wall and it helps. Missing. Has level 6. Can dive. Does get a lot of damage onto it. And it's a great Nico ult. I don't think they expected that one. Missing will go down, but how much can happen after? Who takes aggro? Scout has a little bit more HP. Misses the Q. It takes another tower shot. Very, very lucky to live. As Shun also just about makes it out alive. 1 for 2 under the turret. Kill goes over to Xiaohu. I think Air actually has a good try at that, honestly. Breed does have ultimate again. He gets the stun onto the wall. Remember, if he misuses the W now, the Gwen, that Neferi can fly straight at them. Does have the needlework. Q hits. Clip starts to get some damage down too. But Weibo choose not to dive. I think realize that the Gwen a little bit too tricky to take down with the W making them immune. Missing no ultimate now. Hang on, Missing needs to be careful. He has no ultimate. He could die very quickly here. Ala comes back over the wall. They save their buff for Shun. And it's an even gold game. You know, Weibo had that 1,000 gold lead earlier. Not really able to get much beyond that. 40 seconds till the dragon. That's the advantage which Weibo do hold over the other side. Scout with 1,000 gold lead is pretty big now. We did say that Scout needs to kind of be a big playmaker. I haven't seen it. Ah, there's no charm immediately after the play, after the combo. Missing just gets stunned up. Doesn't use the ultimate very well. Because what Missing wanted to do was, as Scout gets a very good kind of like just last little bit of calculation there on the HP. If that hadn't worked out, that would have been disastrous, yes, for sure. But he's reading the voice in his head. No, I'm not reading the voice in my head. I've got 3 chats open, Kazo, right now. I have, for those of you that are not aware, we are streaming on Nymaera on Twitch. You can actually see them on the bottom left-hand corner, some of them. Nymaera on YouTube, and then also Onivia on YouTube as well. So we've got 3 chats open. Where's Initialise? We're trading series today because we want to have a bit more free time. Sam's going to get a Lion, and I'm not going to do the second series. Because, yeah, I got stuff I want to do, and people I want to spend time with. So we're splitting time a little bit there. Alright, so, Dragon is up. Weibo, do they feel like they can fight right now? I think, like, Scout is in a pretty good position. That shifting sound on the skin is freaking helicopter, man. I've been watching on YouTube this whole time. Didn't know you had a Twitch. Oh, really? I mean, it is in the bottom left-hand corner. I do try and mention it. Maybe I should mention it more. No worries, though. As long as you've been enjoying yourself. That's the biggest thing. Scout in a side lane. One of his natural habitats. Scout loves fighting around side lanes. Missing has ultimate again. Looking for the Mega Gnar demolish on tower. This will... Hang on. Missing. You are now stuck. You are actually just under turret now. Surely just hit the tower and kill it. Air comes forwards with the ultimate. Missing. I just don't think you had any right to be there. One of the supports we've criticized the most here in the LPL, missing a player with very high pedigree. They're going to give the kill over to the Neferi? What's the plan? Give it over towards the Talia. Feats of strength earned by Weibo. They lose that first tower. They do have 2 of the objectives. Easy kill over to Weibo. His missing is misreading the sideline dives. Yeah, Guzzle, I do. Yeah. I am a fan of YouTube Premium. It allows me to watch things on my... when I fly around a lot, if I have to fly back and forth between Germany and the UK, it means I can download videos to watch a lot easier. It's nice. Anyway, they're both good systems. But yeah, Premium is the one which I actually have right now. Light, clearing out on this mid lane. Does have the Q evolve now, importantly. Kraken Slayer and Pickaxe is enough for that with the Doran's Blade. You do need the Doran's Blade for that, though. Worth noting. 4v1 is for so long. Why is Alistair so OP? Well, I mean, it's kind of nice, but, you know, you gotta actually do something with that ability to stay alive. You gotta actually do something useful, whether that's CC or a bit of, you know, picking off carry. Herald now available. Weibo, if they get themselves another objective, of course, will get themselves feats of strength. Light in a good spot. I think this Kai'Sa could do some damage now, you know? We said, Pays getting towards his power spike. Do Weibo want to contest? I don't know. I feel like you want to bide your time a little bit. I feel like... I mean, giving up Herald is obviously not great. You don't want to just throw a fight for free, though. Do you have a good angle? No Mega Gnar timing? Gwen in bot side alongside the Talia. Scout towards top side. Has that Rod of Ages ticking over. The one person building Rod this game. I think Scout is so important for what JDG want to do in this draft. Their engage is Alistair, very occasionally a clutch 3 talent strike from the Shinzao. Outside of that, you need Ahri to dash in and get an unassisted charm. Scout is someone I trust to do that a lot of the time, but still, it's not the easiest thing ever, right? Tian gets a good double Q trade onto Shun. He's got the cab on the bottom side taken. Ooh, ulting on towards Ala. Could hop over that one. Indeed does do. Still has the flash too. And uses the W. Ah, misses the shove. Is that going to be enough? Remember, you do have a lot of healing from the Gwen, and that comes through there. So double ultimates used from Tian and from Xiaohu. It feels like it's not that great. Breathe does have flash. Does have... Well, he's used his Mega Gnar ult now. And he's going to go down on the other side. So, in a battle of side lane plays, it's JDG that come out on top. Light uses ultimate to Pays too. Tian dodges the tower shot. Now Xiaohu trying to catch out Pays, and he still has E available. Weibo losing the plot a little bit here. Get lost a little bit in the source, and JDG maybe even have a collapse play on mid lane. It's Weibo. Left a lot of people. Tian doesn't have himself a W now. Has to burn his flash and dodges out on the Ezreal ultimate. JDG, much more organized play in the last minute or two. Weibo getting a little bit lost in the source. Ruinous Khan 2 minutes. Dragon 2 minutes as well. Weibo would like to get themselves the feats of strength off of either of those, really. Weibo's run starts today. Thank God Hung is gone. He was struggling, and I was definitely someone who didn't expect him to stay around when he was playing like that for sure. But we'll see how long that really goes. So what happens here? Has Mega Gnar, tries to go for the hit back. Doesn't get a valuable W. I mean... I guess you can't allow the 3 talent strike to come through for the knockup, so you have to ult there. Sure, he might have to flash. I was wondering where the scout would go forwards for charm flash. Chooses not to. How has Breed 700 gold up with only 1 kill advantage? Plates. Plates in side lane. Oh, Xiaohu throws his ultimate into the wall, but safely gets out anyway. Breathe alone on top side again. Plates, of course, down now. Xiaohu has teammates now. Can you wave clear effectively enough? Scout had a strong item core of that Leandrews and the Rod of Ages. It gives him a lot of HP to brawl with. Oh, thanks for the stream by the way, 1,000 kites. And thank you for the follow, Whisper. Good luck, kites. Okay, so 20 seconds till Dragon. I think Scout is really in a strong position right now. Needs to be careful. They can't throw too much HP at them. I'm gonna get some value down. Tien potentially could have. Breathe caught out again on the side lane. And as the flash, Shun goes over. There is an Ezreal, which comes through now. No Mega Nut. Shun finding another great angle onto Breathe. I'd imagine he's just going to die here. And Breathe playing the weak side of the map pretty poorly here for Weibo. Ahead 1,000 gold is strong in individual level. Suppose this time it does buy time for Dragon to go over towards Weibo. Maybe Breathe thought that JDG would just not, they would go for a contest. Now Weibo, they have a couple of options. Do you push down to mid lane? Do you... Oh, they catch the combo onto Scout. He has a lot of HP with this build, but I don't think it'll matter. Now suddenly things look a little bit better for Weibo. Breathe draws the pressure top side. They get the Dragon, they get mid lane turret, even though they might give up this this Atakan. By taking so many plays and turrets in the mid lane, after they get 2 turrets, that's absolutely a worthwhile trade for Weibo. Atakan for 1 kill. And 1 kill for, you know, kill on the other side and double towers and Dragon. Weibo absolutely takes that. On Soul Point, great control. JDG get themselves some adaptive force and they'll be able to get to buff up their own neutral objectives. Will Weibo feel happy about that? Maybe there are questions if we see another game or two of JDG misreading the map of drafts which are hard to play around with a lacking initiation hit. Maybe we do ask the question of what happens when you switch a coach out, despite the coach obviously leaving. And if you think a coach needs to leave, then obviously, you know, feel empowered to do that. JDG has gone through 4 coaches in the last few years. But it does have impact. It's not always a honeymoon phase. Oh, they knew... Okay, they knew the wall was there and they knew it was going to die. All right. Okay, so... Top lane out of turret still standing for Weibo. Herald was just summoned in top. So hang on. Herald wasn't even summoned in mid lane. JDG not even getting value out of that Herald, which they got earlier for free. Anyway, I do have a funny story for when I was on LEC this weekend. So I was getting my hair done, as you do. Status log, good to see you, by the way. Good to see you back. I remember the name. So I was getting my hair done, I was getting curled. And Odo Amne just like, literally just stood behind my chair with a very concerned expression on his face. He was like, why are you getting that done to your hair? I was like, I don't know, because I like it. It gives it some volume. I think it makes it, you know, it looks nice, makes it look less flat. It's like, I just don't know what to feel about seeing such a feminine hairstyle on a guy. I was like, I'm glad I could give you this confusing experience, Odo. Yeah. Don't know what else to make of that, but that was funny on the weekend. Anyway, it was funny. Not that I'm particularly attached to masculinity, as many of you know in chat, but hey. I look good with my hair, and I'll stand by that. The chef left. Oh yeah, JDG had that really famous chef, didn't they? Yeah, they did. I remember that. It was okay. Odo's chill. I like Odo. It's good being on desk with him. He's very knowledgeable. He stands behind his analysis very well, so, you know, he will be that kind of dissenting opinion, but like in a good way, and he has a lot of authority to back that up, right? It's very fun getting to talk to people like that, particularly, you know, it's very fun to do that in the LPL. You know, I do that with, I'd often have different analytical opinions from someone, say, Troubling, for instance, you know? We'd think differently. But it doesn't mean it wasn't a good show, and it's nice to have both sides of that opinion, isn't it? Same with someone like Lyric, or, you know, lots of people I've ended up working with over time. Jamada, too. All of the colorcasters. I'm sure there are people I missed out. Okay, minute until Baron, minute until Dragon. Feats of strength for Weibo. That definitely helps them with the extra little bits of stats. Gold lead becoming less important as time goes on. Thank you, Tiana. Thank you. Pays at the 2-item spike. Scout going towards Deathcap's third. Oh, hang on a second. I gotta go check something, actually. I just gotta go to which patch are we on? Ah, this is why we're seeing the death cap. On 0.8, Ahri has less. So actually, this build was meant to be killed on 0.8, the Rod of Ages build. That's what the changes to Ahri were meant to be. But they ended up cutting her armor per level to make sure her HP means less. But they gave her more HP value. Hang on a second. He's potentially walking up there for a play. But they gave Ahri more AP ratio. Scout on the side. Hang on, is going in towards Xiao, who flashes and gets himself into the play anyway. Oh, that's not the position he wanted to be in. Flashes out of the charm, but doesn't get himself out of the play. Bad positioning by Xiaohu there. Easy kill. And that potentially stops the soul being taken by Weibo. At least it's only the one kill. But an easy death to give up from Xiaohu. Who was our mid laner of week 3, by the way. He got the mid laner of the week. Missing spotted out, rooted. Side lane pushed in for Breathe. So now this is going to be a trade of side lane pressure for Dragon. Another good root there, actually. Missing's had a hard game so far. He's struggled a bit. Breathe. Oh, does manage to get himself the stun into the wall. Teleport's come in, but I don't think it's going to be in time. Allah's Gwen just not able to make the difference here. Demolish comes through, and now Scout might be just late to the play. Burns the ultimate. And Missing's now caught out too. Has the ultimate running, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to survive. Light goes in for a last auto attack. Missing flashes and dies. The Cardinal Sin, Shun comes in, but the wall cuts him off. Now Xiaohu's back into play. Weibo find a play from nothing. And JDG, I don't think changing a coach will save you from misplaying like that. Baron straight after. Feels like the floodgates have just opened. You know, Tien great follow-up plays and has now got 2-0-1. They'll take themselves the Baron. And JDG, what the hell's just happened in the last minute? They take the Dragon, trying to trade turret for turret. They call in the teleport, but it's never getting here in time. The fact that Arla gets caught out by the Gnar W is so important there. I don't think he positioned his Black Mist well. The Hallowed Mist, rather. Missing then flashes and dies anyway. He's had an awful game. And look, I'm sure that they did need to change coach. The drafts weren't looking good. There was some bad run of form. You know, I'm sure they could find some logic towards that. But, that is not going to be fixed by a coach, is it? Playing like that. I will say as well, Air has had a good game. For a player coming up from the LDL, often a very tough time coming up as a support because you have to know map rotations, you have to know warding patterns. A bunch of other secondary skills which are not as punished hard in Tier 2 as in Tier 1. Has looked good. Has the empowered boots as well now. Feats of strength. Tread about on that. A little bit of anti-heal from the Oblivion Orb. And now Weibo have Baron. Pushing in multiple lanes. Xiaohu, I mean, there is going to be an inner turret falling as Ala gets to go towards that. Is that important? I mean, it's Golem towards the Gwen, who's lacked a lot of it so far. Annoying for Weibo that they can't take... Hang on, are they just going to chase Ala down? So you have to teleport out. You can't sit and teleport because there are cancels available. Xiao goes and gets eyes on him. W's now blown, and now the W's blown. I think that's where things go a bit awry. Uses the blast gun to make sure Ala can't take it. Does Tien go for the all-in? No. Ala loses the flash, and that's it. Does buy a lot of time, though, remember? It's about 30 seconds of the Baron buff used up. Not bad. But what of a waste as of an Ezreal pick playing it into a Kai'Sa, almost if their coach told them to go... Nah, I don't know about that. I mean, Pays as Ezreal, I think it's stable here anyway, right? I think Ezreal into Kai'Sa is okay. They chose... the Calista was banned. Okay. Gold lead, more significant for Weibo now. And of course, the most important things, I think, are 3 items for Kai'Sa. 1,000 gold ahead. More of Malmortius in for Tien against double AP solo laners and decent magic damage coming in from even, you know, the Alistair technically. Breathe. Caught out of the river right now. Oh my god, Missing's taking a lot of damage there. Just from the single bleed coming through and the Black Cleaver shredding. Missing could be in a bit of trouble here, you know. He has no flash. Taking the long way home. I was actually wondering whether there was a play to be made to cut them off at the pass. Had no Talir ult. If the Talir ult was there, that's definitely the play. Minute till Dragon now. Arla in a sideline has 2 items, going on 3. Looking towards what would be the Cosmic Drive next. I think Kai'Sa is Ezreal's worst matchup after Varus. I think what went through JDG's head is we want Alistair for missing. Let's get an AD carry which get them through lane. I think if they've gone Kai'Sa Rakan, well, would you be happy there? I don't know, actually. Rakan kind of sucks into Nico sometimes. Maybe you're afraid of that? There's no Varus there. Hey, Molecule, good to see you. I wonder how hard it is to improve in the LPL format. These brothers playing a best of 3 every other day in a new city. I think the logistics of that are really something. And then also the LPL schedule is meant to give the most hype matchups on the weekend. It's meant to be the second match of the day. So the schedule has been very strange. We've had some teams play 6 games and some play 3. It's been a heck of a thing, hasn't it? Okay, AP upgrade in from Light. That increased... Oh, Shun's got a face check. It's a bit of a problem. And Poke starts to rain down. Good to see you, by the way, Molecule. Of course, Molecule working on the LEC now, so I actually get to work with him in a professional capacity. Yay! Thank you, Mr. Kuehl. Alright, dragon spawning now. Arla holding one angle. JDG, not the best setup for this. Did get some damage onto her with Pays earlier. Not enough. Combo onto... I mean, it's a combo onto a Gnar. The Blast Cone saves Missing's life. Still, half HP. Not the best place to be there. Level 17 Breathe, holding an angle. Shun coming over the wall. Pays over the wall too. Oh, and there's a catch by the Nico. Double shove, and Ari goes down. The scout reports their findings, and it's an enemy army. Weibo will take that kill, take down the jungler, and that will be the soul after. Again, JDG, you can change your coach, but you gotta press the buttons right on the rift. Weibo get themselves into a storming advantage. 2 kills, soul. And Weibo come out to a huge advantage here in the late game. Great plays from Airher. Airher is my player of the game so far. I think this guy's been playing really, really well today. For a player that's come up from the LDL, for a player that's didn't have great expectations, brought in, I suppose, on emergency because Hung was playing so poorly. I think his first series caught out a little bit, but whatever. Still stable enough to justify. This is a much better game. Of course, won a series versus NIP as well. And here's what happened here. So what happens? I mean, they just put the ward down and Arla doesn't use his W. Scout gets caught. I mean, they didn't have the setup for the dragon. Playing from behind the vision game, they get caught up by someone. I mean, it could have been missing on the other side, right? I think he was lucky to get away with the blast cone. Just happened to be a scout that came out to the negative there. And now you have Chemtech Salt. Makes it much harder to take someone like down, like the Neferi, like the Gnar. Much harder to kill off these more bruiser archetypes because they do more damage and take less damage below 50% HP. Of course, the other thing too, reminder, is the Chemtech Dragons themselves gives you tenacity, which does help versus stuff like the Charm. Gives you heal and shield power. What does that apply to? I mean, it applies to the Eclipse on Tien and his Q healing. Yeah, that's nasty actually thinking about that. Not as valuable for anyone else, I suppose. Okay, JG, what's the plan? Take a chunk on your support again. Missing struggling on the Alistair. I don't think it's a bad Alistair draft. I do think that Missing has played poorly around side lanes. Oh, Ala's caught out again. Has flash. Will that matter? The slow landed onto Tien. Missing half HP. Has to blow the ultimate too. JDG throwing away random health bars on different sides of the play. Breathe has flash. Only has to crunch away anyway. Weibo getting the better of everything. JDG feels like once the fight gets split, and you kind of get different members across different parts, at different ends of the river, they lose their mind a little bit. They're not coordinated. Breathe. Going towards that Baron, taking some damage off of it. Uses that W to just scout out a little bit. By the way, translates to Dumb Husky, for those of you that don't know. Teleport in from Arla, so they get themselves a global for this too. Don't stick towards it. Root out of the bush. A little bit of poke from there. Not wanting to use self-CC with this Q cast animation. JDG do have the Atacon. They do have a little bit of that XP and the extra adaptive force. Does empower their grubs too. And they will take mid lane out of turret. However, they don't have teleport now on Arla. Light is heading towards Zhonya's, which makes it even harder to kill him. We're getting towards an Elder game. Maybe JDG can pray for that. Of course, JDG been on a bit of a late game streak recently. You had a doggo called Django that was a dumb husky. That's adorable. Huskies can be very intelligent, also very dumb. Shun goes forward and gets a great combo onto Tien, but he presses W and gets away with it. Charm lands onto Xiaohu, but even he gets some shields from his boots. Shun now caught out, doesn't have the flash. His ultimate's going down, and there's a catch on to Pays. Breathe has gone very, very deep, though, and might have to flash out, and indeed does. It's one kill onto the jungle. Allah's on the flank, and Air buys some space, missing. Forces the flash out of the Nico. I feel like Weibo blowing a lot of summoners for quite cheap here. Missing. Tanky, but is he tanky enough? Oh, it's a lot of damage from the dogs. No, it's not tanky enough because the Light wants to finish the play. Scout not able to get the kill on the other side, and your ultimate has run out. The flash will see him to safety, but it feels like JDG are not getting anything positive from this. They get flashes at best. That's it. That's it. They get flashes at best. Teleport goes down. Ala teleport comes in as Scout joins Ala in that mid lane. Baron being taken down very quickly. Meganar coming back up again. Light takes the Baron. JDG at least getting some gold in pocket. Minute and a half now until Elder. And of course the Baron will last over to that. 3 minutes. Elder coming up in 1. JDG just looking so much less precise on the map. For a team which was, for me, any Scout team, is about how coordinated they are across the map. It's not great to see. You can see the initial charm with Xiaohu does have the chain-laced crushers, does benefit from the shield power, of course, of the Chemtech Dragons. Breathe buys time on the other side of it, making sure that Pays and Scout not getting the most value. I don't think it was the best engage, actually, by Breathe. Getting trapped in that 1v3. You're tanky, but you're not a full tank. Pays trying his best on the Ezreal. The Ezreal is scary. The Ezreal is scary. It's just, you can't do much when you're not there at the initial fight. And the rest of the team is split from you. 2,000 gold behind now as well. Light on the Kai'Sa. Doing a magnificent job. 5-0-1. I think that he's another shout for MVP. I will say I think Erho is my MVP so far. I think the Nico has been absolutely clutch. Pivotal to how Weibo have been playing. Especially coming in as the last minute replacement. Means even more, right? Oh gosh, okay, catch on the side lane. Shun does have flash. Xiao coming in on the angle. Teleport coming in from Gwen. W starting to land. Light, of course, has that W upgrade. Powerful, that. Not the W landing. The more this lands, the easier it gets for Weibo, of course. They have the Chemtech Soul. They're happy to play around low HP for low HP if it needs to be. Baron still up for a minute. Breathe. Doesn't have teleport. Ala pushing in that bot side. Thank you so much for the gift subs, by the way, Zareth. Means an awful lot. So you get gifts, gets gifted. This Elder. Tien, onto it. Healing up with his Qs. And of course his jungle item as well. You take more damage the more than regular dragons you've taken. Which means that Tien's still going to be chipping a little bit of HP down. Missing. Full HP. Does have his tier 2 ultimate. Now he goes down to half HP. Pulls the ult. Anyway, Ala on the flank. This isn't looking bad, but the Zonya's on the charm is crucial for Light, and Air buys even more space. Feels like there's Light's fight to win now. JDG look for the triple pincer. They can't manage it. The resets come through. And Jingdong Gaming, on a 2-match loss streak, may well find themselves in a 1-game deficit here against Weibo. The Baron's still available. The Elder taken. Weibo have been better than JDG this game across almost all fronts. Charm lands onto him. G8. Potential here. Ooh, hops over. Remember the Elder. Potential of the kill. Goes down to low HP. And TM will finish this off. Ala, not the easiest game for him. 0-1-0. 0 kill participation for the top laner of JDG as he is smoked by Dragon and by Summoner. Weibo will clean up the game. JDG, oh, their fans have got to be in despair. A loss against FPX. A loss against Invictus Gaming. And now 1-0 down against Weibo. The pressure is on. They've changed the coach already. They have to change tack somehow. As Weibo, they have their own honeymoon period. And that's There we go. He's doing 5. Greedy. Greedy there, Mr. Fanchan leader for Weibo. Okay, game 2. What are the winning lanes? Top lane's a little bit weird. Normally expect Ambassador to do good trades, but Sion does have very good wave control most stages of the game. Ooh, can't kill the ward itself. Oh, this is an important ward kill here in bot side, actually, from Air and Light. Because you want to be able to sit in the brush as well and not be able to be under threat of the double range. In terms of the ward war at level 1. Ward on Raptors traded. Getting control over the bot side. Bit of a wash. Suppose Weber come out slightly ahead depending on how they work in this bot side. Missing looking for the mount up. Guess that moves you to run towards people with the mount up, of course. Can get hand shook out of a crash down at level 1, which is what's dangerous, of course. And this is the problem with not having those wolves in the brush. Auto attack, dip into the brush. Get rid of that shield. Gets his... Oh, not great from Air there, actually. Gets his bone plating pops and then eats the E after it falls off. So Light, Pays, rather, doing a good job there. Eats another free auto attack. Double E, that's better. Getting that double E, very important at level 1. It's a hell of a lot of damage at level 1. Doesn't scale well, but does very well at this level of the game. I've been enjoying watching Air. Of course, he's not, the perfect support, but it's potentially what Weber needed. Complete control over the spot side. Level 2 hit. This is the first pierce the game does Light. Control over bot side. Xiaohu pushing in mid. Does mean that Shun doesn't get the ability to go Raptors to Raptors or something like that, which is often one of the bigger play patterns for the Lilia. Tien clearing very quickly through the top side. Onto his 4th camp already. Of course, Shun's quickest camp as a Lilia is that Raptors. Ala, knowing he won't have cover from his jungle, we'll just make sure that he's safely collecting the wave under turret. Scout. So look, the early levels for a Yone, not the easiest. Doesn't want to be missing a cannon here. Good trade from Xiaohu. Xiaohu, of course, notable Orianna player over time. When they reached World Finals in 23, Orianna was one of the big reasons for that. Now just getting some free auto attacks down. Already the lane pressure on bot side a little bit rough. JDG spotting out Raptors. Ooh, is there an angle here? Picks up the rock. If he picks here, this will kill. This will kill if he gets it. The flash is not in the right direction. Gets out of the initial stun, but Tien does a bit of a U-turn. Gets picked up an easy first blood, and then we'll head towards topside scuttle. Scout loses the flash. And honestly, Xiaohu's early laning phase, pivotal to that. Missing, maybe looking for a flash. Gets the cleanse out of Light. And the flash too. Air needs to be a little bit careful now. Ignite drop down. Heal maybe a little bit too late. Triple summon is out from Light and Air. And now the problem is, Tien is not here to cover potential of Shun looking for a kill. Light just chooses to go for the reset. Air will die here. It's just a question of how quickly it'll come in. Teleport comes through. Then maybe things are a little bit different. Good response here from Weibo. Xiaohu had gone for his reset anyway. Picks up the wave bot side. Kalista will pick it up mid, and then they'll switch lanes after that. So Xiaohu will quickly clear out this wave. Light will do the same on... Ooh, stops the recall there too. That's important. Nice. Cool. Stopping recalls like that in the early lanes, very important. Minute and 30 until Dragon. We might see that there's the resets of Varus trying to make sure that the Varus isn't matched up against the Kalista early. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Man, Tien first item, Giant Spell. Yikes. Getting a first back for Giant Spell, very unlikely to get a lot of the time. You often don't save up that amount of gold, but it's a very quick first blood. Wow, bot lane's very quickly going to mid lane. The reason that we see these bot lanes in mid lane at 5 minutes, which we normally see them at 10 minutes or 12 minutes, whatever, is because Xiaohu went towards bot side to collect a wave. You don't want to be dropping waves in early game, especially not early game. So the easiest way for Weibo to pick up farm was, whilst also keeping Air alive, teleport to defend Air, Light covers mid lane, and we'll figure out the extra swap after that point. Light goes towards that dragon. JDG not really in a position to contest. This will be a very quick dragon. Xiao staying in bot side, making sure that he can still match up against the Yone. He's up a good amount of CS, 20 CS early on. Breathe. Even in top side. You do have 900 gold if you have full clear and take a grub with and take a grub without buying potion. Oh crap, not grub. I was like, not sure about that. Still, Tien feeling really good about his first backs of the game. Grub's now started up. Missing, I don't think he spots out Tien here. Bit of a problem. Handshake landed there. I think that was actually a dead rel, you know. Has no flash, of course. Goes for the combo. Pace could potentially look for a play here. Sion goes for the play, but Tien had flash anyway. I mean, I guess maybe it secures the grubs. Breathe getting the honey fruit to get himself more HP to fight with. Now, what's the play here? Eha does have that flash, might need to go and flash, and no level 6 just yet. 2-1 in terms of the grubs. Tien, does he have the W? Dodges out in the swell seed. Waiting for the W cooldown if he can help it. Chooses to flash anyway. Breathe, maybe. Could have gone for an ultimate big play there, because Sion, no HP. Oh, no HP. No ultimate. No HP. Xiao trained really well against Scout, you know. Ooh, ults away. Xiaohu, complete control over this matchup. Xiaohu, he was the mid laner of last week of games. Doing very well. Hang on, level 6 for Shen, that's a problem. Scout does miss out the stun on Tien, though. Now do they get the stun through the wall? He gets over that. Losing the lilting lullaby like that, your first of the game, not exactly what you want. And now, hang on a second, there's no Sion ult. No Yone ult. Breathe has his ultimate. Light, I think you can go for a big play here, can't you? No lilting lullaby. A little bit late. Breathe potentially could have made himself a bit more of a nuisance. Remember, missing no flash. Oh, there's definitely one kill coming in here, surely. Really? Can't commit further to the play. The cooldowns of the Ambassador early, kind of nastily long. Goes to the ult now anyway, gets out of the next queue. Missing has a shield on. Maybe they've misplayed it a little. Breathe doesn't have the extra damage. Do they have the bailout? They do. Is it enough? They get themselves a kill and the bailout. Breathe doesn't go down, and JDG, they misuse so many summoners early on, so many ultimates early on, rather, that Weibo managed to get a big play in this early game. It takes a long time for them to find it. Breathe misses a wave to tower while he's hanging about in that topside jungle. You know, Light is now 500 gold ahead. He's had a good day. Shun doesn't get to stick around for everything that he wants to either, I don't think. Again, it does feel like JDG are panicking. They don't look like they're all on the same page. They're misusing a lot of their big abilities. I mean, this is even with Light taking a bunch of damage for free, missing his Pierce. But so many ultimates have been used poorly that Weibo have plenty to work around. Sure, not bad on the Lilia to get some good damage in here. Next Q lands nothing, though. The bailout goes on to the Ambassador instead of the Callisto, which makes perfect sense here, right? Save the Rend for the bailout to have value. Shun loses his flash here too. I'm sure Yone is nerfed. Yone did have the changes to his E on this patch. Not this patch, a patch ago. Or a couple. Where if he takes CC, he can't cleanse it with his E anymore. So you will take... You still snap back, but you take the CC afterwards. 1.5k lead is not the end of the world. The thing is, it's at a 9-minute timestamp. That's the problem, really. Okay, Man HL saying in chat, his first remake was JDG can't select the 5th ban. Second remake is the wrongly selected Onivia. Onivia pick. Right, thank you, appreciate that. Minute till Dragon. Weibo with some really good control at this point in the game. I'm a little bit worried as to what happens with the Sion later on, but then again, Callista's actually pretty good at tank killing. Scout is down an unreasonable amount of CS. 35 CS. We'll go down to about 30 if he collects the wave, but we'll see if that happens, right? Has ult, has flash. Has a bit of attack speed. Xiaohu looking for maybe one more. Oh, good wave play there. Good ult on target. Low HP now. Tien, I guess, just here to make sure that Xiaohu can safely push in. Airhead doesn't have flash, but he does have the Callisto ult now. Missing. Now maybe he's caught out. He does have flash. Tien, does he go for the Impale? Force it for the flash? No, chooses not to. Maybe too important coming up for the next fight. Swell speed. Hits onto Tien. Xiaohu having a great game so far, by the way. Scout teleporting towards bot side. And he'll try and pick up as much as he can. Breathe pushing in top. Has teleport. No flash, of course, use that in the Fracker topside. Dragon started and likely to be uncontested here. So that is second objective for Weibo. If they get another kill and another objective, that will be the feats of strength. Pays has no flash, and that is a Callista jumping at the face. That'll be a rend pinned in place by the hostile takeover. That's why you hate playing against the Callista when they get ahead. They are an engaged champion, and they fling their support in like a Pokeball. Grubs gonna get taken by Shun. Sion gonna use that ultimate to reset the lanes. 5-1 in Grubs their way, but just happy there's no 6 Grubs on the side of JDG, and I think they're happy with that. 2-kill Callista. This is one of the worries about, you know, letting the Callista run out to go over without a laning duo that can stand up to them. Light and Erher pulled ahead of the game, got early value, and now the Callista is ahead. It is very hard to stop them. When Callista is ahead of the game, what do? I mean, for the last while, we've not really been able to see Light play like this, because Hung was playing quite poorly. Erher coming in, we were worried. Well, they didn't focus on them the first series he came in with against NIP. But now, it looks like he's settling in a little bit more. Light can you know, play through laning phase maybe a little bit more too. Maybe using his W a little bit earlier there, the Repudiate. Has the Eclipse though. Hey, he's been such a crucial member for JDG. Doesn't feel like he's been given the best platform in the last game or two. Yes, Varus, high prior pick, but you do need to be winning the 2v2 as well. Well, not be getting blasted in a snowbally 2v2. Tien, still ahead in gold in the jungle matchup too, worth noting. Shun has a historically, I think it's something 24-11 or 24-14 games. Wins and losses between him and Tien. Tien, of course, one of the better regional junglers within the LPL. Shun, of course, having the BLG buff in the last few years, though. Really helped amp that up. Oh, missing. Has flash. The flash handshake misses. Tien, does he go towards the impale? He does, and he forces the flash out. Missing. Being punished an awful lot. I think he's probably one of the players I think has been looking the most uncomfortable for JDG. It's hard to play well as a support if you don't know where people are meant to be on the map and you're a little less organized. Perhaps at the perhaps the reason being due to that coaching change. Perhaps. Hard to read into all of it, of course. Shun looking towards a lilting lullaby potential bot side. There is a flash and breathe. He uses it well. Gets out of that decimating smash and the swell seed. Missing no flash. Phase rush by Xiaohu. He can actually walk up to Scout too. He feels so good about this game so far. He's not going towards the Rod of Age build. He's up again 25 CS. Gets another great trade onto the Yone actually. Gets a shield from the Renata. Xiaohu playing out the individual matchup very, very well, and Scout has been held back. Now, he will still be an engaging threat later on. JDG do have a good composition. They have good ways to start fights. Oh, Pays pops that Ghost Blade. It's safe. Kind of spooky, though. Every time you see that Callista has ultimate, and there's dark vision either side of the mid lane. Because Skarner uniquely able to pass through those walls and punish you. Heartsteel for Tien. Liandry's for Shun. Very powerful items in their own right, of course. Dragon up in a minute and a half. Herald up in a minute and a half. Weber have the first part of the feats of strength for 3 kills. Another objective with Dip, that, of course, the first turret as well. With Xiaohu winning so heavily through side lanes, that's definitely helped them chip down these turrets. You know, the ults onto Scout under tower has been working well. This is a little bit sad to see for JDG, because I think Scout has had a wonderful split so far. I think he's been playing well on JDG, and I think that often he's a player which I learn a lot about the game from, because I see the way that he moves around the map. Macro-wise, he's a very intelligent mid laner. Tien, off of vision, going towards bot side, walking towards Xiaohu's winning lane. Missing's hip, doesn't hang on a second. Missing doesn't have flash. Real problem. Cash down fails. I don't think they even need to use the shockwave. Missing caught out again. Missing in action. JDG support struggling today. Tien's still around on the bot side of the map now. There's no one to stop him from going towards this. You know, in a straight 1v1, I'd even put Skarner winning that against the Yone right now. Stupid champion it is, and Yone being behind in the game. It's a Heartsteel stack for the Skarner too, which you'd like. It's actually a very easy game to get Heartsteel stacks off of. You can get them against Yone, Rel, and Sion. Not too hard. First turret of the game going to go towards Weibo, and that will be the feat of strength. Xiaohu's laning really opening this up. Dragon now potentially here for Weibo. Scout's teleported back in. Is he powerful enough to really change much? Remember, Weibo didn't use their ultimates to kill off Missing. Missing doesn't have flash. Is warded out on this blast cone. So they'll know that Missing's coming in here. Airhead does have potential of the handshake. There it comes. Ooh, Impale misses though. That's important. There is still a shockwave. Does that change things? Missing, no flash still. Ultimate comes through from the Swirl Seed. Scouts, do you want to go towards that? No. There's also a cleanse coming through from Airhair. Does look like Dragon's going to go to the side of JDG. Airhair's thrown in. Scout flashes out and the shockwave is flashed out of 2. Scout goes in for an ultimate, but I think he's out for the fight. He does die. Dragon for a kill. JDG will take that given how hard that situation was looking for them. I think Weibo low roll on the play. Still think Weibo in very much control of the game. 2 dragons, good leads across the map. Not getting themselves an early soul point when they have the Kalista team will be a bit annoying, but they'll definitely have chances towards that later. 2,000 gold ahead in the mid lane. The big loss here for JDG is actually Scout using his teleport and dying, so he can't immediately get gold elsewhere. This Yone is not going to be that useful. It's so sad. Given that, you know, when LNG with Scout went through that undefeated Swiss stage of Last Worlds, a lot of that was through Scout being very, very good on Yone. Very good on Yone. He was a hell of a player at Last Worlds. Very important to his team. Of course, coming on to JDG. Different outfit, but keeping up a good level of form still. Shun, with the double Swirl Seed there. He's been playing well this game, actually. He's behind an individual goal, but he's been threatening well. But I don't think this game is on him from JDG. Now, Missing does have flash for this fight. That could be an issue. There's no... I actually don't know whether Weibo should be going towards this. That's a big missed Var Assault, though. Is that a problem? Not great terrain for Weibo. They don't have the hostile takeover, and they don't have the Fate's Call. Caught by another Swirl Seed. Does have... He might give up his life for this one. Scout goes in. Does he have enough? Missing goes in for his combo. Here goes Breed, and the Impale is wonderful. There is a kill onto the support, but is that enough? Tien will live. It's a 1-for-1 in a fight where really Weibo should have been losing that. There is a shockwave still available for Xiaohu. The Herald's still alive. Tien will have to go, I guess, I don't know, can he heal enough for Grubs? I don't think so. Tien on the top side hits level 11, does get a little bit of health back. Scuttle Crab goes down. I think Xiaohu is the most powerful person on the Rift now with most of these ults down. Scout does have his ults. Lilting Lullaby up in 5 seconds. JDG stepping on the knife's edge. Flash from Allah has the blast going to get in position 2. I think JDG needs to be really careful about shockwaves, though. Shockwaves are really nasty here. Maybe needs to use a shockwave to cancel out that Q. Gonna be safe for now. Remember that ultimate now from the Lilia. Back up. Airher. Back up on the board as well. And he also has his ultimate. Herald's gonna go over. So Weibo fail on their first chance at... Well, no, they do already get the feat strength for that first half. Not the best fights the last couple of minutes from Weibo. I feel like JDG have actually outfought them a lot by and large. The ultimate's not necessarily all in a row from Weibo. Remember, while all this is happening, JDG do have the 5 grubs. It's much easier for them to... Hang on a second. A lot of damage is missing. Tien needs to be a little careful here. Any CC onto him would be very... Oh, Shockwave stops it. Oh, he gets the straight kill. Oh my god, Xiaohu. 2,000 gold ahead. Someone told Xiaohu it's spring. The Emperor of Spring. Riz has had a little bit. Player of the week last week for his role in mid lane. Not often we've talked about Xiaohu on an individual level as much as in the past, of course. Really turns up for the big games and then kind of snoozes a little bit before then, but this has been a good series from him so far. Atkan spawning. Is the Voracious form in the top side. Shun on top side. Breathe dodges out on that. Remember, there is a Lilting Lullaby. He has the flash. At best, this is going to be ultimate flash blown by Breathe. Chooses not to anyway, though. Now, I actually wonder whether there's a bit of an overstep here. There are members going topside from Weibo. They feel very strong right now. Shadow Flame for Xiaohu. Imagine having a Rod of Ages at this point instead of something like the Shadow Flame. You know, Airher a little bit caught out. This is without the Kalista ultimate, without the ultimate from the Renata as well. The Impale saves this fight. This should have gone a lot worse for Weibo. Like, a lot worse. Tien has an extra shield. He makes it out alive. Whatever. And then there's this play. This is nasty as hell. Misses out the QW. So maybe FaZe thinks he's fine. Gets hit with a Q. Scorch goes on. And then just recalls. You just recalled next to the ball. Do you want a job as a bowling pin? Is that the play? Okay. Oh, out onto tower. Scout does get out with the ultimate, actually. Does he have Q stacked up? Tian maybe could have body blocked that. Or Breathe. Breathe had the flash. Should have been a free kill. Maybe had to use a flash for it. Dragon now spawning. Very strong Orianna to play around this. Maybe JDG should get an LDL support too. Missing was so good in 2023. Very much enjoyed watching his very good, quick, opportunistic style of play. Dragon started up. This will be soul points. Mountain Dragon on top of the tanky Skarner. The shields coming through from Xiaohu as well. Nasty. Wonder whether Pays actually feels like he should start building ahead towards a Serpent's Fang because of that. Herald spawn in mid lane. They do have 5 grubs, which help them with their tower damage. Charge will come through. Doesn't kill the tower, though. Tian is very tanky. Very tanky. Going towards the Unending Despair next. Scouts at Blade, but doesn't have a shield bow yet. He's very far behind the curve. My problem is now, you have to go very deep as Yone to get good value. You have to do that against a Renata, which already makes it difficult. A Mountain Dragon, Orianna shields. 2 very tanky, well, annoying members to deal with in the Skarner and the Ambassador. The Ambassador's not always strictly tanky, but you know what I mean, right? Mobile has the shield from the Repudiate. And then there's a bailout on top of that. So what I feel is, right now, Scout is not useful as an engaged champion. He needs to be benefiting off of swell seeds. It's kind of on Shen and Missing to get themselves the big plays. Shen's been struggling, but you know, you're a Rel. If you have flash, you can make the game-changing play. Shen maybe can do something. Maybe. JDG, with 5 grubs, still yet to take a turret, by the way, which is a big problem. They went a lot towards those grubs. Normally, that's a thing which I love to see on teams with Scout. Scout is one of the best side lane turret-taking players in the world. Xiao's so fed. Atacam was briefly started up by Shen, but I guess it was for Q stacks. Swell Seed, tanked up by... hang on a second. Not sure about that one. Shen now down to half HP. Ambassador on bot side, pushing out that wave. Scout taking the Krugs, trying to pick up some gold for himself. JDG, they're on a bit of a timer. I think if Mountain Soul goes to Weibo, that's probably game. Your Varus hates playing against that, even if they get Serpent's Fang. It's very hard to find good Swirl Seeds as well. Your poke doesn't mean that much at that point. With people like the Skarner being so tanky as well, the Mountain Soul makes them even more ridiculous. Weibo, good control across most of the map, actually. 2 items for Breathe. He's very, very strong. Xiaohu actually decided to upgrade the Spell Slinger shoes a little early. Gives him a little bit easier percent magic penetration, which you don't get easily from anywhere else. It's been very cool seeing Xiaohu have some very good games recently, folks. I think for a lot of people who started watching more recently, who didn't see 2016 RNG, and of course RNG 2018 winning the first MSI, and even in the last few years, of course, for those who started watching more recently, but even then, a couple of years now past, 22, 23 RNG teams going to MSI and winning them. 21 on 22, rather, sorry, on that front. It's so cool to see a player like Xiao who still have high tier moments later on. Now, it is against a struggling JDG team who've just changed their coach, Tian. Ooh, maybe looking for a play. Chooses to cancel the Inkstyle's impact. Good slow play from JDG. They're trying to... I think what JDG are trying to do is they're trying to pull Weibo out of position around the Atacom, because JDG really need a power play. They need a big Sion ultimate. They need a big Lilia ultimate. Big Rel. But they're losing... They're kind of bleeding out until that happens. Oh, Xiao needs to be a little bit careful here. Does have the flash. Now, the problem is, if Missing goes for a big play here, there's a teleport coming in. This is very well played from Xiao. They know that they're potentially in trouble. They do have a bailout here is the thing. They do have the bailout. Xiaohu, very well played. Not walking close to that brush. Spidey senses tingling. And they look for the play. Look, if Xiaohu walks there, that is the angle towards the Atakan. This is what they need to do. Rel recourse. Sion's still on top side. Has an alt angle, I suppose. Weibo with 3 turrets taken. Full control of top side of the map now. Ala's still in this rush. They need to resort to smoke and mirrors. They're zooming in on this because it looks silly, but this is what they need to do. Blue buff taken away. 2 items for Tian. Very, very tanky. Minutes or dragon. And now the thing is, Weibo can do 2 things. They can take the Atakan and go to the dragon with the GA, or they go to the GA and say, look, we don't care that you put all of your resources into topside. If JDG had taken a fight, gone into the Atakan, and got the GA to fight this dragon next, that would have been the way back into the game for them. But Weibo too savvy for that, in this case. Xiaohu had a huge point of power, by the way. The Spell Slinger's Shoes, the upgraded feats of Strength Boots, plus the Blighting Jewel, give him a good amount of percent penetration for this point in the game. Xiaohu is very fed. Gets rid of that Celestial Opposition on missing. That damage reduction down. Mid control coming forwards. Tien going forwards with the shield. Varus with the big stretch noises. JDG pushing out bot side, teleporting in there with the Sion. I guess they could take the tower, but taking the tower is not really worth it for them. Top lane turret's going to go down because Breed's going to have that. Go down, mate. Pays on the side is seen. 5 members of JDG strong towards this. Handshake lands onto Arla. Dragon goes lower. Pays over the wall. Breed's here now. Teleports in after taking that tower. Ren stack starting to come up. This is a problem, JDG. You can't allow this to come through. You need to force an engage before the Ren comes through and the Mountain Soul comes through. Here comes the Scion. Here comes the hostile takeover. It's magnificent! The shockwave comes through. Somehow the smite fails. Missing goes for engage. Is it enough? Is it enough? Beast Lil to Gilliby. It's up to 5 people. Breathe clears through it though. And Yone starts to go forward. Is it enough? Do they have the damage? Weibo, they lose the dragon. They must take the fight. Arla tries to buy time, but can't do so. But they do manage to kill off the Ambassador in the backline. Weibo, from such a good position, failed to take the dragon, and JDG outplay. 5,000 damage. Shun with a magnificent sleep. I thought the hostile takeover would be the end of it. But JDG playing a lot better around that. Weibo have now failed 2 chances to get Mountain Soul. And they lose the fight there, arguably, too. I mean, the HP bars were really not looking too happy. Shun, fantastic play from him on the Lilia. It's one of the reasons this Lilia has been so important here in the LPL. Allows you to have much better carry performances. So what happens here? Arla gets a good he gets a good ult to reposition himself into the front line. Yone gets a distracting ult, but Pays is not attacked by anything. I mean, the Impale's okay, but they don't manage to capitalize on it that well. And this is a 5-man sleep. That's insane. Shun finds a great angle. Weibo, not been that impressed by their team fighting, I gotta say. Light does get a lot of value down. Yeah. Scout very nearly catching out Light there too, actually. I'm so surprised that with such a fed Orianna, with such good map positioning, that they couldn't walk away with more from that. Atakan now started up from Weibo. They have the Rend. How did they fail the Rend the last time too? Failing with the Rend, so crucial. Now they get on the Atakan. This one's going to go for free. And they might be able to use this to roll into the Baron is the problem. So, JDG doing well around that dragon. Missing. Still has flash. 10 going forwards. Could flash for the Impale. Doesn't want to trade for flash. They're missing. Angling a little bit. Has the Magnet Storm backup and available. Breathe. Also available for something elsewhere. Remember, 5 grubs for JDG. Maybe they sense that a player's on now. Scout has teleport. Rend getting stacked up on the Baron. The GAs from the Atakan. Gonna make this a lot harder for JDG to walk away with something. Inner turret being taken down. Was Xiaohu spotted there? I think he was. Arla not in a great position here, actually. Shun will have to try and get a flip against the Rend stack on the Baron. Here it comes. There it goes. Xiaohu engaged onto by Arla. Missing, looking for a flank. Gets the Magnet Storm down, but Xiaohu doesn't really care. He still has to withdraw on Arla. And Missing can't get the job done. And Breathe hits Pays. Now that is a bit of an issue. Starting to heal through the rest of the team. Scout trying to DPS. Peeling back for his AD carry. It's a 1 for 2, but then really one of them is the withdrawal. So who really cares about that? Light stacking up the lethal tempo still. All 5 members with the Baron buff. JDG taking inner turrets, but with the kills going over. That Baron buff will tide Weibo now over to a 3rd chance at Mountain Dragon. This time they actually do get that smite into objective control from the Callista. Orianna is so useless here? No, I don't think so. I think what we've been seeing is it's been very nice to have the shields around. And also it just means that the enemy front line can't, the enemy back line has to position very, very defensively right. Look here, the ball there means that Pace and Shun can't walk forwards in the way that they want to. That's where it's useful. Sam brought me a coffee from a place very nice near us. Oh, lovely. Now Weber walking forwards with the Baron buff in the mid lane. Miss out a handshake there. Both the carries of Xiaohu and Light haven't died yet from Weibo. Pushing in from side lane. Scout has the 5 grubs. We're using that to push in top side. Has a QSS now as well. Important against that hostile takeover. Tower taking in bot side. Breathe. Getting to the point with level 16 of Death Stance where, honestly, they don't really care that much about, yeah, the Scion. Ala doesn't have flash. Taking down the turret very quickly here. Inhibitor turret for inhibitor turret trade. Weibo have a lot of members here, though. The Atakan's still available for another 10 seconds. Inhibitor turret for inhibitor full taken by Weibo. Advanced congratulations to LCK on winning MSI and Worlds. These are 2 teams that have gone through big changes on either a roster side or a organization side, right? Coach gone from JDG, support change from Weibo. We have another double round robin to go. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff to learn about both these teams on their upper end still. Feats of strength coming in for Weibo too, which is kind of nasty. Light with the increased the upgraded Berserker Greaves. Xiaohu built towards a Crypt Bloom, actually. Not towards the full Void Staff. Maybe thinks he has enough with, well, I mean, he'll one-shot Pays pretty well. Can they get rid of that Spell Shield on Pays? Quite hard to reach the Varus. Missing. Has Flash. Has the Magnet Storm. They spot him, though. And they separate out. Rend going on to the Dragon. Scout across to the side. Can they stop the Rend this time? They must stop the Rend. Can they? They CC up the Callisto and they lose the Dragon again! The kills come through. Scout gets onto the backline, but Xiaohu is safe for now. How do they keep messing up the Callisto combo? Flash forward for a Q. Light will survive just about. But Weibo, how have you failed this again? The shockwave even goes wide. Oh, Weibo, how have you managed this one? Handshake lands in. Breathe. Potentially able to turn this around. Scout charging up the cube. Going to go forwards again. Doesn't have the ultimate. Is that going to be enough? Good damage coming through onto the Scion, but is it going to be enough? Recalls now coming through from the side of Weibo. Oh, Weibo. You have to stop your Kalista getting CC'd for that Rend coming through. Scout sees an angle. Flash away. Airhead flashing forward, trying to look for a handshake. Gets an arrow onto him, and he's going to go down very easily. That now they have no bailout. They're corralled. There's just so many different arrows. The Cyanol comes back up. Breathe trying to kill Shun, but he has a Zhonya's. Weibo have thrown the game in only a way that Weibo could achieve. Breathe, not really much for him left to do here. Dies to the Death Stance. Weibo, do not press the Rend key on Light because he's CC'd. That is how JDG have outplayed the Kalista Smite combo. Erha should have been stood in front of the Kalista. Die for it if you have to, but you have to make sure the Kalista is not CC'd so they can press their E button at the same time with the Smite. Tien getting out-smoked by Shun. Shun, great play from him on those smites. Of course, lost those smites against Jeje the other day, making up for a little bit of something. And now the question is, can Weibo defend? Can they defend? Arla coming forward. Great hostile takeover. It's multi-man. Scout goes forward and he has a QSS. He'll survive. He'll kill Lights. With Kalista going down, the towers will fall soon after. We'll have ourselves a 3-game series. JDG, bring us to a game 3. And Weibo, how the hell did you throw that one? Ooh. But we don't talk about hovers until they're locked in, of course, because stuff like this happens. I would like to see the Draven. So as soon as I saw the Nautilus as that first pick for JDG, I thought could be an option. Go towards the Jinx instead. So a bit of long range. And now if you manage to get a good Nautilus ult into a good Hui combo, Jinx will reset and run down the rest of the team. It is hard to play the Xayah versus the Jinx unless you have Flash. Very hard to, because you are outranged so heavily. They are held there quite often, Delga. And I'm pretty sure that MSI is being held in Canada, isn't it? So we literally have MSI in Vancouver. Alright, so Weibo. They have a composition that wants to head towards the Yorick's lane and help him split push. Other side, JDG want to pick people off from rotation and make sure that Jinx gets resets to run across the rest of the map. That's the play. I don't think JDG have a bad composition. I think that Nautilus and Wukong can find people out of position. Play long-range QW, long-range Jinx ultimate. Someone dies. So who's going to win? I don't know. Neither team has a very easy-to-play composition. I think Weibo have been executing worse on the whole, especially in mid and late game. Comes down to a lot of macro. And normally I'd say Scout is better at macro, but it's harder to play that when you've lost your coach and they're looking very unconfident. How much will Weibo be rocked by those Dragon Steals last game? This is close. Coming into today, we thought, hey, this could be close. Game 1, and we have some extra worries, especially with the early lead in Game 2. We thought it would just be a clean 2-0. Right. Time to find that out. I'm not actually sure who comes out ahead here. Maybe JDG. I think Paze has a really nice comp to play around here. Scout 2. Anyway, let's have some gameplay to decide it. Where are our Jaio's crowd? The Weibo fan chant. It's been a little bit greedy today. You're doing 5 Weibo chants rather than 3, breaking the norms. Oh, that Jingdong Trad chant leader, my icon in lung capacity. JDG outscales. They do in a strict 5v5, but when it comes to macro, maybe not. Because if Breathe gets ahead of Ala, you have a Pantheon jumping onto his lane, Pantheon stun into the Dark Procession, into everything, they die. You also have the same with the Realm Warp as well. Both the Pantheon and the Rise can go towards the Yorick's lane and make it living hell for the Jace. If Breathe gets ahead early, I think JDG may not have enough time to get online before they have to deal with Yorick in the side lane. That is how I think Weibo want to play the game. So, Shun and Ala, their goal is to make sure that the Yorick does not get too far ahead. Q start from Urha will get himself a bit of healing. One of the really annoying reasons for Rakan being very strong into stuff, even like the Nautilus. It's like you get those Qs on target, get the sustain from it. HP kind of nasty. Gets the hook onto the Xayah. Mind gaming a little bit with the Q heal, needing to be in melee range. Of course, happy 8th anniversary to Xayah and Rakan. I know they're not technically married, but they were released 8 years ago. I think 2 days ago now. How they've changed our game, haven't they? Shahu. Hard trade onto him by Scout. Ala has the level 2. Gets the phase rush. Of course, phase rush is very common into the Yorick to make sure that you cannot get pinned in place by the Morning Mist and the Dark Procession, kind of the cage coming after. Yeah, Minarinol, I completely agree. I think in 5v5s, JDG win. I think in split map, I think Weibo win. I mean, they have the globals, they have strong individual players. Champions, rather. But JDG, much easier for them to start a fight. Ooh, W comes out of that brush. Stop the recall, though. Because often what Jinx wants to do is get early control of a wave, get a little bit of farm, recall for an early cull, and then just stack it up. Get through to your mid-game hook misses. Ooh, maybe a chance of we can't go forward for a W there. I suppose maybe not, with the Jinx not within range. Nice bit of poke there. Level 3 hit by Paze and missing first. I was wondering whether that Feather Claw was meant to rush the level 3 there too. They missed that out. Not onto the traps. The trap's badly placed. And now actually even they get level 3 too. Missing's in trouble here. Where's the Feather going to come through from? Flash forward, an extra Q coming forwards. Light goes forwards with his own summoner too, and he still has barrier. Yes, Paze has himself the lethal tempo, but so does Light. Shun has himself the clone. Has himself a flash, but I don't think you get through the barrier, and also air her with his next Q cooldown heal. Do they see him? He's just over the wall. Goes forwards towards his great W flashes over. Barriers in as well. Is there a Q heal? Rakan needs to get in range. Saves his beloved Xayah. Rakan winning out in a 2v3 scenario on the bot side. Light and air her. Make it work. Missing, and Paze not comping up well enough. That's a problem. Missing now spotted on the other side. Can Hex flash over the wall. Hang on, Shao needs to be a little bit careful here. Uses that phase rush and his passive to get away. Missing? walking around the map. Now it's Lightner has time to recall and get back on. Missing's in trouble with JDG movie tagline. Yeah, but the traps missing here is huge. If they get the reset, obviously things massively change. Her flashing to keep vision on missing makes a lot of sense there. Light comes back with full boots already. That's so nasty because for those of you that don't know, the reason why Zyra Khan is so strong, and might be a trade up here first. We'll talk. No, okay, we're fine. The reason why Zyra Khan is very strong is that when Zyra W's, Rakan gets to activate the bonuses from it. For those of you that don't know what Zyra W is, it's increased attack speed, extra damage on your auto attacks, but when you hit an enemy champion with an auto attack, you get an extra 30% move speed as well. Now what that means is that when Rakan jumps forwards when the W is active, he activates the move speed for Zyra. With the boots, it makes it even more. They go for the dive, and the root comes through. Light will survive with the help of some shields and some heals. Tien gets involved. JDG get absolutely blasted. And it's so hard to escape as Zyra Khan when they get those early boots, when they get that W active. The amount of move speed, you can't run from it, and it means that you can't escape the roots either. It's so nasty. And yes, Rakan also has increased range on his E as well, which helps him go in and out much, much easier. But the big thing for laning phase is that if you both start W at level 1, both of them get the attack speed, the movement speed, and Rakan can activate the movement speed, which sometimes Zyra can struggle to activate on her own. I think Air has been doing really well, folks. For someone who is effectively an emergency substitute, they're doing so well. We were worried about Weibo. And reminder here, folks, Weibo win this game, much like they should have won the last game. Then they'll go to 3-3, and JDG will be there too. There was a point where, I mean, I was being told by Rafa, saying that potentially JDG were the best team in the league. And that was before they reached any of the top teams. Then they lost to FBX, then they lost to IG. Might be losing the Weibo here too. Maybe we should check in with him at some point. Curious. Tien does have flash. There's no flash on missing. And the hook's blocked out on as well. No W hitting onto Airhead. There's a lot of damage with the Ignite. Is going to kill the last tick. The Guardian comes through and Airhead lives. Pays so close, but no cigar. And no Rakan either. Put that on your pipe and smoke it. Light 2-0-1. Tien 1-0-1. Weibo crushing the bot side of the map. And also, Breathe winning the individual matchup on top side. Because of course he is. He's a Yorick versus the Jace. Robson started up. Shun used his flash earlier. Gotta feel pretty bad to be Shun. Hang on a second. He could be in a bit of trouble here, actually. Smite will come through from Shun, and he's probably... yeah, he had to be a little bit careful there, because Breathe could have used that Q to kill off. Nautilus in the area. No 6 for... Oh, hang on. If his phase rush runs off, that's a bit of a problem. Next time that Arla goes for a trade now, won't have that phase rush for play around the map. Tien can go towards the level 6, take the Raptors, and then be on call with his global. Cole stacking up for both AD carries. So there's no extra added bonus coming in from that. Tier 2 boot speed up, built up by Breathe. Obviously very important for melee versus range. Especially against one which has the acceleration gates and the phase rush. Scout slightly ahead of Xiaohu, but much for muchness really. Ryze will still have the global. He's not far enough behind for it to matter. Light zoning off Pays from farm in mid lane. That is a problem. Normally Jinx is so long range that it doesn't matter for that. Hang on, missing. Mate, gotta be a little bit careful there. This is alright. Pays coming over. Could go for a W there. Breathe hard trade onto him by Arla. Of course, he has the sustain though from his cube. There's last rights. Also has his biscuits as well. Looks like he just wants to clear this out. That's why he's using his HP as a resource. That's a term I really like using. You'll notice that. HP as a resource. I think it's a very good concept, right? As long as your HP is above 0, you can keep doing stuff. So, you know, play to those limits. If you have extra HP, if you're meant to be tanky, and you don't actually ever get hit, you're actually not using the items that you built. You get what I mean? You get what I mean. Oh yeah, Jace also gets the movement speed from the form change too. Acceleration gate and that. And oh, gets caught it. This is now a bit of a problem. No, it does hit him away. We'll make it through. But still. When you get to the late game and there's more hits on that, because when you level up the Dark Procession, which is the cage, it has more HP, goes from 2, and then per rank it gets, and goes up to 5 hits max, I think. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah. It goes up to 5 HP, I believe, at max. And it gets really hard to escape. In very late game, even very high attack speed carries can't get out of it very easily. Of course, you don't max it until last because Dark Procession is... your Morning Mist is too important for the poke. And your Last Rites is your main damage sustain and everything, really. Oh, man. Yeah. Ain't that nice. Look how much more HP he's on now. He uses one cookie because cookies are OP. Pantheon's on top side. Missing's up here too. Missing actually needs to be a little bit careful here. And breathe the recall. Breathe the recall. I think JDG are in for a nasty pop quiz on how to deal with Yorick plus globals on his team. Typically, globals are your answer into them. Oh, wait, they knew there was a ward there. You literally know there's a ward. Wait, no, they don't. No, I thought it was pinged out. It's actually the red ping instead. Breathe needs to be a little bit careful here. Not in range form just yet. Does he get out? Ooh! He gets out. Recall. Not spotted out. Xiaohu pushing on bot side. All Weibo needs to do now is make sure that they don't fall behind on a... Well, they don't give up easy picks. And they don't give up an objective lead to JDG. Now, as it stands, 2 grubs and a dragon. I think Weibo have already kind of done that. Now, JDG aren't going to be winning through cross-mapping against a Yorick when they have 6 grubs, which is probably the only thing which makes Yorick a slower tower pusher than you. Oh, Morning Mist not great there, actually. And also the other thing would be a soul point early on into the game. Rumble goes topside. Xiaohu to go up towards this. There is a flash on Arla. Trying to save for that room, that realm up, and it comes through. He has flash, but he's just dead. base. The Maiden's going to come through. Procession going around the tower to help them with that. Tien goes forward. There's a Cyclone, but I just don't think it matters. JDG have lost their minds. They knew the play was happening on top side. They had it all on vision, and it changes not one thing. JDG will lose 3 series in a row, and Weibo will clutch the victory out 2-1.
Both valuable options here. No Enchanter for the Zeri, so I think those two probably are your best options, and they will decide to go towards the Varus. Lot of emphasis on the good use of those area denial zones from the Xin Zhao and the Gwen. The Unraveled Earth from Taliyah and Meiko to try and body block, prevent the dives from being as scary as they might be in another scenario. WE, pick your target, all pile on in, kill them before the response comes on through. Game plan's quite simple. Doesn't make it not effective, just need to make sure that B1 Vi isn't like before we come back to listening to me. Poke option it is from Gala. On the barrier anyway. Between barrier and Edge Knight should be a little bit trickier. It's WE spiking in the mid game, statistically speaking, anyway. IG a bit better late. I think that's fair. You've got the Gwen. You've got the range advantage. That tends to favor you if the game gets late. WE, the moment you get level 6s and first items, get your dive on. Both of our junglers starting on bot side of the map, interestingly. We have got an Ambessa Gwen, though. Very volatile matchup. Kai'Sa with the -500 skin. Yeah, we'll see. It is the Invictus Gaming Kai'Sa. Of course, into Invictus Gaming. See how he does with that one. Didn't see what skin Karis going for. Has he gone for the Hall of Legends skin, has he? That's a popular one. Karis. Brief misreader, chat. Sorry about that. Throws out the orb of deception. Level 2's coming on through. Shy slides on forward with a snip or two. Why is Taliyah so popular these days? Everyone's playing it. Good items. Works really well with a lot of junglers right now. Is very good into things like Ahri and Azir. Has an anti-dive option. Messes up Neferi too, who's quite potent. Really good into Fi. You outrange a lot of people. You're a semi-global. You lane well. There's a lot that Taliyah just does quite well right now. Shy will skip and slash forwards. Good chunk there onto Cube. He's honestly had a pretty good split, all things said and done, as dear old Cube. I think a lot of people have once again dismissed as washed, is the kindest way of putting it. That isn't a particularly kind phrase to begin with, so that will tell you exactly what community sentiment was. Oh, monkey! Mistimes that. We all saw it. That'll cost him a second or two. Lane swaps come on through. Get out of that Varus lane. Be a bit miserable for the Kai'Sa. Still, early deficits are acceptable on the Kai'Sa as long as you get to that first item mark just fine. You do skirmish oh so damn well. The reset well enough managed there by WE. Void Seeker just wide of Gala when looking to see if someone's coming to lane. TP bot side in comes Gwen. Should lead to a relatively even trade in TPs there. Lacerate and a Sundering Slam. Nice charm there from Karis. Rookie down about half. No teleports there to work with. No early dragon start by the Vite, which can be done, but now look in mid lane. Flash for the staggering blows onto Rookie into the charm. Clean play in mid lane. Well done, Vampire on the roam. Rookie. Absolutely neutered. Vampire is just the GOAT. Apparently so. Sorry, Vampire. Didn't understand your game. Is the VOD review request one game or the series? Scout is best. I would suggest asking Alex that one. I don't actually know how it would work though. I think it's generally for personal VODs, is the idea. So Alex will come and review your gameplay and tell you how you play it. Which can be quite cool. He's very knowledgeable. Alright, well, there's a little bit of a staggering blow after the dredge dive. Into the pit we go. Gets another one of those grunts and now flash over the wall. Now BJJ going down. Looking to ult forwards. Karis. Another ult charge remaining, but slowed down enough they just want to keep chasing. Throws out the Orb of Deception. Mako has to back away on the other side. Only the one kill. They do get a kill and a grub to deny that full take of the objectives. Getting a flash there as well. Valuable. Of course, Monkey had to flash as well. A little annoyed not to pick up another at the end of it all, but the damage is done. Look to go mid, but I feel like Rookie should know about this one, surely. That's a flash himself. Helps clear out the wave with the relentless force. So what you're saying is basically that 10 rose combos combined together depending on how well you play. Precisely. WE in a pretty good spot right now. All things said and done. Up 1,000 gold. 2 kills on to this Ari, who's gone for the early Dark Seal. Has an early Lost Chapter and the early Ionian Boots. So it's not going to be a rower build for the record here as well. This will be damage, Ari. Praise be. I think this game makes a lot of sense to me. See what that Lost Chapter turns into. Tends to be things like that Malignance, but could well be something like a Leandry's, I suppose. Actually, does Leandry pull out? I don't think it does. Take that back. Won't be a Leandry, that would be silly. Could be still something else. Vampire. Jumped on. In goes that Crescent Guard. Flash for the double pulverize. Puts Monkey in a dangerous spot. The needles are flying around. Mako's still surviving, but it's a reset for Karis. Now got 2 charges. All over the wall from Cave. Buys some time. Karis flashing away. Just about out of range. Taeyu's still in danger. Does get at least 1 back. It's a messy fight. 2 for 3 in favor of IG, who also got the dragon. At least Karis doesn't lose the stacks and picks up another kill or 2. At least Taeyun got something, but that was messy. The Shy all the while was there, while Cube was not. Rookie, having died early, actually having reset early, gets to walk up and at least clear up this wave. Let's have a look at that again, because I'm pretty sure that just ended up being some missing solos. Initially, great hook onto JJ, but he's still got some time. And they all in to try and kill off this Shintown. That's all well and good, but the Crescent Guard buys a lot of time. JJ is bought enough time to get out for a while. Gala went flashing to get the kill on the carry, so had to flash away, but he left Taeyun alone, basically, and Snap, the Shy, got to keep snipping through people. Good pulverized flash from Maiko. Bought a lot of time as well. Ends up being an even enough fight, but the Dragon and the extra kill is good for IG. Where the kills went will be interesting. The Shy very early with the Rift making out. Could be problematic. Of course, this Ari, 5 stacks on the Dark Seal. Good spot herself, honestly. Gala, nice early lead here as well. About that 15 CS mark, something like that. Can happen on the Varus in these matchups. Still good news for him. Taeyun only got the 1 kill there, despite what looked like a pretty good ult at the time. Second set of grub in 15 seconds, and the Ari, I think, might have just completed her first item there. We'll see what it is in inventory now. She can't be miles off. Won the 1v1. Now in a great spot on this Ari. Not quite frustrating. Can't be miles off it, though. Rookie with the Merc Treads and a Tear. Basically does no damage right now. It's a CC. Rookie in general has been building a lot of defensive builds. Rowers, Seraphs, as far as the eye can see. Over towards the grubs we go. Wanted to get a bit more bang for their buck on that front. I can see why. Have ability to dive turrets, but to siege them, always the easiest this game. Happy enough with having picked up 1. Do they want to play more for more? Maybe. Need to clear out this wave first. Rookie backing away. Monkey wrapping around. Might find Gala here. Gala's in danger. Watch Taeyun as well. Can they jump onto Gala? There's the ult. Cease and desist. Into the immediate killer instinct. Trying to TP on in to keep Gala alive. Who's going to get depth charged up and goes down. Taeyun flashing away to safety. But JJ there and waiting. That means Monkey's in danger. Failed flash from him. He's stuck on the Unravel Earth. Public excuse in the backline. But it's on to Shy, who just doesn't take damage. Karis, though, finally gets a reset. Ends up being another 3 for 2 in favor of Invictus Gaming, who pull the teleport a bit cleaner. Takes too long to kill Gala. The public execution combo not the best. Karis with a couple ult charges to work with, which doesn't have the timing. Double TP from IG. Make that a bit more of an even affair for them. Shy, I apologize, TP bot side. You've got to pick up a plate or 2 here as well. That's good news for him. Nice sequence from Invictus Gaming, who now actually have a gold lead as a result of all. Let's have a look again. Because initially, Monkey finds a great wraparound. Gala in danger, immediately cease and desist. Taeyun looks to try and pop him, but it takes so long. And Vampire and Karis take a while to get on over. Redstein kind of goes a bit wide, doesn't land onto anyone, and then Vampire and Taeyun don't really have the best exit here. A little bit rough on the exit play. Solid TPs in response from IG to punish the heavy dive onto that Varus. Still, the Gwen is giga strong for the Shy. This Ari, this Kai'Sa, still in a good spot this game. It's not the end of the world, even if that wasn't as clean as you'd like. Goldie, minimal. Seven stacks on that Dark Seal early. Mari feeling very happy on that front. Quietly, a lot of extra damage here. No one really wants to build up magic resist right now either. Taeyun 20 seconds, or 20 seconds, 20 stacks-ish. I'm getting that cull popped. That could be a pretty valuable moment as well. First item's largely now completed across the board. Dragon started. I think Invictus Gaming giving it a spot. A Monkey waiting in the alcove, looking to do some gaming. Flash away from the Shy, but the cease and desist comes on through. The Hallowed Mist just looks like a graveyard, sanctified ground to bury the doll. Mako now in danger, ults to stay alive, but Cube went deep on that one, gets shoved. Ends up being a trade of top laners. I think Cube could have backed out on that one. Monkey is low, sorry, Monkey is low. Mako is low. Without the ultimate, that health bar advantage could prove problematic here. I think it might cost them a little bit. They still got the dragon, though. Taeyun in mid lane. 5th kill for this Ahri. By the book, please. You're set up for it so well this game. I think Cube didn't need to go further there onto Mako. Still had the flash. The ult was enough time. Too much CC. We'll have a look at the replay now. And you did get the shutdown on the Shy there. And that goal went all the way to Ahri's going for a Banshee's Veil. Interesting. Honestly, into the Chains of Corruption, into the Unraveled Earth, when you're already stacking up a lot of that damage with the Dark Seal, I think you do want to go towards the Medjai's next and then finish the Banshees. Hell, you could even just set up the Verdant Barrier. But I think if you're looking to play make, really useful into a lot of that initial bit of CC and zone control from things like Gala and Rookie. Does need to then be aggressively looking for charm plays, though. You need to be the tip of the spear with a build like that. Get value out of that Banshee's Veil. Please buy the Dark. Please buy the Medjai's. You've gone for the Banshee's Veil now as well, and the ult cooldown. You're as safe as you need to be. Just get that amp. Genuinely delay that Banshees for the additional ramping power of that Medjai's. And you don't feel as bad about stopping off as there's that Ahri skin. Hey, Karis. Taeyun cashed in the Cole now. Gives him a little bit of a gold lead here into the Varus. He's evened up a lot of that CS2. So should be able to reset here. I think it'll be the Rage Blade second if I remember this build correctly. Maybe it's the Kraken Slayer. Can't quite remember, honestly. Kai'Sa builds always confound me just a touch. See what this build is, because if this is the lead build with the Umbral Glaive and stuff, apparently it's actually secretly quite good. I'm always hesitant to call out Kai'Sa builds I don't get. Gives you some wave clear into the Varus too, so I don't hate the static shift per se. Gives you a bit more scaling as the game goes on. Scales well with some of that magic damage as well. See what it ends up being. Herald up and available. Feats of Martial Mastery in for WE. They still need a turret or the first 3 objectives. IG, 1 objective away from claiming that objective marker. It would be a race for first turret. See how that plays out. The Shy cleaning up a wave under his turret. Doesn't really want to drop this if he can help it. Well, Sal when you need her. My guide to all things Gwen. Minute 20. Sole point for Invictus Gaming, 40 seconds. 1,000 or so gold lead for WE. Banshee's Veil completed by Karis. Gone for the full cooldown on that one. I think you should have gone Medjai's for this fight. I really do. Still, the decision's made. Alright, Karis, justify it. You are into, in fairness, a Giga-fed Gwen. And also the Talia, so get value out of the MR. Get value out of the increased cooldown on that spell shield. Like it's an unvaluable item. You could have really snowballed this fight. Rage Blade and Ashes, I agree. For that Kai'Sa, and it is the Rage Blade. Thought it might be. Into the Ashes. Good on hit. More of an AP variant. In fairness, you've got AD damage elsewhere. Still be pretty good on the on hit. Dragon started. Down to 7k HP. We begin. looking for an angle on it. Monkey into the pit. Split off a little bit. Needs to try and find their way out. We'll see this as well. JJ taking low. Flash on out. Dragon secured. That's the whole point. What about the fight afterwards? Looking to get to the backline with a public execution is Cube. They've killed off Vampire. Mako also low. Cube needs to flash away. Does so. Kairos out and out to safety. Needs to try and dodge away. Still got an ult to roll with. Doesn't need to burn it quite yet. Still desperately trying to get a reset. It's an awful fight for WE. Monkey split off, and now Kara's stuck under the turret. No kills, no reset. Stacks go down. Just needed more damage. Monkey got separated. Nearly popped JJ, and people don't manage to turn around on it. They get Atakan afterwards. What a disaster.
Hello, I'm hopping in to see how badly things are going for our dear WE. They've been looking all right. I mean,
there was a 2,000 gold lead on Karis, 9 stacks on the Dark Seal, and finishes up a Banshee's Veil coming into a Soul Point fight. Just get the Medjais.
yeah, well, Cube's getting run down the side lane too now. As a GA, might be able to take one. Doubt that's even going to happen.
No.
Steep.
The team fight issues have been, we've seen good individual plays from WE. When it's on their turn, the team fights itself have felt a little bit like they've got step 1 down and not everything else. Here's this replay where basically Weaver's Wall leaves Monkey split off on the pit, and he gets a decent chunk down, but then the turnaround fight is just not great. Taeyeon doesn't find a good angle in, and the public execution's a separate target to everyone else.
Taeyeon initially starts that fight in a good spot, getting auto attacks over the wall. As Kai'Sa, who's quite low range,
Good job. Also a good flash, sorry.
it's a great flash over the charm. But yeah, I think the big difference is Taeyeon found a great start to the fight, couldn't really capitalize with it. Anyway, I'm gonna go do things which are not League of Legends. Very, very
Oh,
brief
my days.
I know, it's incredible. I could offer you an egg in this trying time, but I actually really want my cream egg.
Eat your cream egg, that's fine.
And Sam, do you want to go get ramen later at that place?
Ooh.
There's a very good
Oh,
ramen
yes,
place.
I do.
I need a constellation ramen for some of the things that were sick at us.
Oh, that sounds great. All right, I'll leave you to it, mate. Taeyeon did absolutely nothing. Yeah, he kind of did, didn't he? That's Soul Point and a gold lead and Atakan. Yikes. 4 grubs too. Pretty good. That's a good spot for the Kai'Sa, but then you need to actually find value with the ult. Did not. Taeyeon doesn't get a reset. Herald now comes summoning on through. Weaver's Wall on down, and IG suddenly in commanding position in this game. Another kill onto Monkey. Finally get a turret of their own, will WE. But IG on the verge of breaking this base in half. Won't stick around for the inhibitor. That would have been a step too far. Can they? Well, that's a weird old positioning for this Herald. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. You missed! I assume saw too many people when, yeah, that would be a bit far and backed off it. Well, didn't charge in the turret, but did use it to escape. Maybe decided against it as they went past. I'll be honest, Vampire isn't even playing that terrible. Yeah, like, so Vampire is playing really well when WE are making proactive plays on their terms. However, when the creative engage angles disappear, Vampire has a nasty habit of just saying, fuck it, I'll flash on the first target I see. This isn't bad though, Rookie. Taken out. Karis looking to play this one out. Still has an ult to work with. Chains of Corruption land, though. Means he's now in danger. Begins to ult away. Kindly good to get in danger as the public execution comes on down. The Locket shield is solid, though. Karis still with an ult to work with. Needs to hop away as the needles come on through. Vampire knocked up. Mako goes down, though. Gives another reset to Karis. Can't look for too much more. Ends up being a 2 for 2, which isn't super awful, Charm. Just wide. Gala does still have that spell shield to work with and safe enough. Shy, though, and it's not to bother himself. W comes on through, but will be immediately hallowed misted. And so Gwen is vaccinated. Namely, she's immune. Probably getting like a Surgeon or an Elite Assist Gwen. Be a great skin with all the needles and the immunity. Have a look at this again. So initially, good charm, great chunk, Q flash, fantastic. Imagine if you just had a little bit more damage. It'd be a lot easier. The Chains of Corruption here ends up being really valuable. Public execution on him, but JJ buys enough time. Basically, between the Hollow Abyss and the Crescent Guard, very difficult to finish people off without fully engaging into the melee ranging issue. And this Gwen is so strong. We don't talk about the scissors incident. Oh boy. Here we go again. Over the back. Monkey looking to try and turn from the Shy. Hops ahead. Has got 3 stacks on that Q available. So the snip would be pretty violent. Both solo laners looking to get on top of Monkey. Oh dear. Needlework comes on in. We'll try and cease and desist to buy some time. Will surely die. Rookie taking about half all the while. What can WE do on the other side, though? Public execution. Onto Gala. Still has that Edge of Night spell shield. Teiyu ulting, flashing, but Gala flashes away to safety. They finally kill off the Alistair, but IG just outplay it. And Gala has enough shielding and enough summoner spells to buy the time required. WE aced just for the cow. A worthy sacrifice. A sacrificial... well, not lamb, it's a cow, isn't it? Will lead to IG barreling through mid lane and ending the game. Competitive early. WE with some good moments, but the team fights just weren't it. IG ready every time. And the coordinated plays when you have more than 3 people trying to do the same thing just weren't there this time around. Yorick locked in. So... we're now playing a 1-3-1 or a 1-4. The Yone and the Yorick, very, very scary in the side lanes. You get to 2 items there, plus some grubs. People will die. Big team fight wombo combo, even if the setup requires a little bit of a hand stiff. Need a good lilting lullaby, a good Rakan engage, a free-balled Yone ultimate, those kinds of things. Not always easy to find, but if you do, combo's nasty. For WE, your ability to keep your backline alive will be critical. The Azir and the Ezreal outrange heavily this game. The rest of your team's job is to keep them. With someone with KT in their name, Lomo, that's a risky statement to make, isn't it? Let's let the crowd yell for a second, and then we'll come back on in. Oh. Never quiet. Monkey, flash at level 1. Some more of that. I was going to say layering. I think I was going to try to go for yelling. Don't know quite what word I was deciding to go for. Yodeling, perhaps. Who knows? IG. Oh my days, that's a statistical advantage. Interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of these players are very good at these champions. I think rookies, Yone, sometimes been a little mixed. In fact, let me go double check that. I have a sneaking suspicion. Numbers aren't fantastic for him. Well. Cube. Good level 1 into the Shy. He'll still send some ghouls at the cube, which will help turn this one around a bit. Wants to get another grass proc if he can. Can't quite do it. Monkey, remember, has no flash, and that's meant that this level 1 invade is going to come on through. As JJ gets to nab those, and then potentially roam right the way over to their own Raptors. Ensure there's no real cross map available. It's a bit of a chunk there onto Karis, who trades back with the soldiers well. Thought so. Rookie with the 46% win rate, Yone, across 13 games. Not been his best, has to be said. Very hit and miss. I think the thing is, when he's picked up the Yone, it's been when he's been on teams that have been less successful, which will hurt those numbers a fair amount. Hey, the guy who's seen a lot of work being done as Cube has to be a bit wary of those ghouls coming at him. All-in combo available. Who hits level 3 first? Oh, boy. It could get scary yet. Wait. JJ clears out his whole jungle. Has that advantage in terms of the camps. Monkey's going to roam on and realize they're all taken and realize he's wasted his time. That's going to hurt. It means that JJ can just fight over these grubs. Rookie had to be aware that Monkey could do this. Unbinds the soul, rebinds it, flashes, stays alive, but down that summoner. An early reset will be the penance. Early on, the Renekton will be annoying for the Yorick. Later on, a lot harder. Doesn't kill the ghouls as freely as he once did. The AoE damage to ghouls really nerfed. They stick around and become very obnoxious. You can slice and dice over the Dark Procession, that helps. But you do hit a point where the Renekton stops winning that as freely. Cheers. Throws down the Blooming Blows, misses the Swirl Seed. Don't want to blow too much here. Raptors have respawned. Karis forced a time on that reset. And oh no, here comes the Yone. Wanted to play around this. Nice little smite fight for the Raptors. Claims a lot of them. They can head straight back towards their own jungle. Is he going to try and play for the other Scuttle Crab? I would. Just keep messing with this Skarnet. Lily's still got a health pop. Yorick Champ supposed to be weak before 6? Kind of is. Depends how many Graves you get to work with. But the early priority here as well. Really favoring JJ. Let's go back to their Raptors on spawn. Oh my days. I think you do Raptors. Krugs. Reset. Head over towards those grubs. Feel very smug about your first buy. Monkey's going to be a known quantity now. JJ available to come support over on those Krugs. So, the reset finally comes on through for this Lilia. There is that Faded Ashes and the Ruby Crystal as well. So an extra 400 or so gold. Giving you a decent chunk of HP there, more. Let's play around these grubs. Have the level 5 already. Goes looking for that Mortal Steel Part 3. The Steelening onto Karis, who says no. Fight over the grubs. Smite fight available. First was secured by Monkey. And he'll drive on out happy enough to have secured one. Prevented the full set going on over. JJ burned his smite too by the looks of it. Or didn't quite secure it. Either way. Oh, lands the Swirl Seal, but Monkey's swift enough with that smite to go, yeah, no, you don't just keep doing that. Please stop. Dragon up. Rookie, Soul and Bounce. Doesn't go for a Q3 with Vampire Ram. Might have been a bit risky. Especially with Karis having ult. Shove him under tower for a half his health bar. Could have been very frustrating. As the Shy with the Maiden of the Mist up and available. Q3 into the Fate Seal on 2. Nice combo, lilting Lullaby. Puts the Azir in a difficult position. JJ, no! Failed the flash over the Emperor's Divide, and so will die. Oh, this Lily have been playing so well. Can still keep running, doesn't matter. Burns a few more flashes, but will go down. Oh, JJ. Oops. All the hard work to fumble the execution on the Azir. Trying to get over the wall before the lilting Lullaby timed out, I have to assume, but still, that one sucks. A lot of flashes blown for this, though, and the resets are still going to have to come on through, so Dragon won't go down. Bit of a kerfuffle, that one. Who picked it up? It was the Braum. Huh. Best target. Either of the other players would have been better. Let's have a look at this reset again. So initially, Rookie finds a great Q3 into the R. Sets up a great lilting Lullaby. Then JJ just fumbles the flash. A flash. Watch out EQ. Kills Karis there very easily. Thousand Kites with the willful ignorance. I definitely didn't see it. La di da da da. Buffer by like 20 milliseconds. Yeah, can happen. Karis wiping the sweat off his forehead there. He's about to have a very bad day on the Azir if that failed flash hadn't come on through. Don't look at top tower. Ooh, dear. Hang on. Well, Q. Gonna pop the ult. Oh, no! Failed the flash. So much to clear out the Dark Procession, but it's now caught in an awful position. The slows are on in. The ghouls are there. And to redemption for JJ. Helps pick up a kill top side. Bot side, though. Jungler was revealed. Won't see anything happen bot side. Monkey on his red buff. Leaves that one alone. The Shy having an absolute field day topside, though. Now 20 CS, gets to pick up another plate. Driven to the wall, will throw down the Dark Procession. Flashes out of the Impale. So Monkey will at least get that summoner spell. The Maiden going to sit here and chunk Monkey out a bit. Can't quite claim that second plate, but saves Cube from losing another plate, which would have been a bit disastrous. Monkey can't quite find that Mortal Steel proc. Concerning signs for Renekton, level 8 and already getting gapped. Yeah, I mean, this is about... Level 9 is probably the strongest single point in the game that Renekton find. First, level 9 to first item. First completed or, like, fully maxed ability. Into first item completion, about as strong as the Renekton gets. Sigio coming on down, fails to flash over the wall. Couple awkward flashes we've seen from both teams now. LPL players can't flash through terrain today. Seemingly no. Seemingly no. Also, Yone being up 10 CS somehow into the Azir is kind of wild. I'll note that Azir's just reset, whereas Yone hasn't. That might change as yet. We'll see. Yorick plus 5 grubs is a big W. Yeah, it is. We've seen some Yorick win conditions, and the Shy with pressure is going to be such a problem because WE don't want to play for side lanes. They want to play for the grouped up fights. They want to drag the Shy away from the side lanes. Otherwise, this is going to happen on repeat. Dominus is popped. JJ won't press ult. First Dragon's going to be taken by WE, and that's great. But it's nearly 12 minutes into the game. Soul is a long, long way away, folks. And Invictus Gaming have all the tools to play for turrets and ignore the Soul win condition for a very long time. When is Soul Point potentially happening? Well, we got a 16-ish minute Dragon 2, 21-minute Soul Point. It's a 26-minute Soul. Assuming IG don't take a Dragon before that. Oof. Shit. Nabs another Raptor camp. 20 CS up. The Andrews completed. This is looking very good for Invictus Gaming, and the proactivity we saw from W in Game 1, very absent here in Game 2. This draft was predicated on getting to play around objectives. The Renekton, which was supposedly able to manage the Yorick in the early game, has not. Azir and Ezreal just not online yet. And Azir, we should be able to be fine with the One, honestly. In lane, at least. Losing out a lot of prio has let JJ constantly make Monkey's life hell. If it stalls out at this point, it's fine. Well, Dominus popped. This is about as strong as you get. Shy. No Maiden. But just gets to run back towards tower. That's not great. Monkey's around with Vampire here. Does JJ care? I don't know if he does, actually. There's the red buff secured. That's the upgraded smite coming on through. Mako now in danger. Hops over the wall with the battle lance, and the Impale goes wide. Mako not caught out that one. The Shy just walked out. Yes, he did, Snail Bells. Yes, he did. WE chose red side and are losing. Yeah. Yeah, I think this Yorick's put a real timer on this comp for me in some ways. Because IG now in a very scary position. They can give up this next dragon in trade for the side lane turrets and be very, very scary. I think you play for Herald, you play for turret shove, and with Yone, who's able to unbind his soul and run at a turret for free, with the Shy now getting towards first item, it's going to get very difficult for WE. Don't get me wrong, if it comes down to 5v5s, life is good still for WE. If you get 2 items level 11 for Karis and Teiyu, life is good again. Getting onto this Ezreal and Azir will not be an easy task on a regular basis, if you can get to that point. My issue is right now that the Azir and the Ezreal aren't threats, and the front line will absolutely melt to the IG combo. And the skirmishes, the 2v2s, the 3v3s around these side lanes are going to be desperately unpleasant right now. The Yone and Yorick, the push and pull of the Invictus Gaming solo lane is so famed for their ability to play out side lanes with incredible amounts of pressure. It's going to be miserable. These ghouls are going to consistently spawn, and Q's playing a zombie survival game. It's Nacht to Underton out here. He needs a Wunderwaffe and a dream. Last rites for a bonk on Cube's head. Trinity Force is done. If he stacks enough Morning Mist, Cube will just cry. Good to see you, Rich Tomato. You just look, they'll pull W around the map with the leading Yorick. Exactly. And if you're following the Yorick, you're not following the Yone. You're not following where JJ is on this Lilia, who's going to be tracking Monkey this entire game. Flash on out, battle dance into the lilting lullaby, and the bullet time with the quickness, interrupted though by a good glacial fissure. That puts Mako's life in danger. It looked like a good moment from IG. It's Karis finds a moment. Yone looking to fade sealed in the backline, can't quite do it. Tell you, look at the angles. Mystic shots over the wall, and they'll get an additional kill there. Great interrupt from Vampire. That flash, critical there. All the while, though, Cube crying in this 1v1. But that was a kill for WE that was well earned and earned. Every flash there from Invictus Gaming. The Shy, the only person not there, doesn't blow his. Good work from Karis. Every flash from WE blown just to get that. And the Herald was secured at the very least, and the kill was secured at the very least. Big moment for WE in the grand scheme of things. They needed that. Still lost the first turret, though. Let's have a look again. Because initially, I thought IG had played this one really well. Flash from Monkey into a flash out from JJ and the battle dance. And the lilting lullaby with the quickness should have been good. But it was buffered through by that glacial fissure, which interrupted the combo. And then Karis gets to slide, glide, and flash for an Emperor's Divide. Honestly, Vampire, really nice. Karis, really nice. Gets a kill for Taeyun. We go back towards the dragon. If they can pick up another dragon here, it's better news for Invictus Gaming. 2 critical objectives. 2 dragons and the Herald to try and bring Invictus Gaming to the board in 4 or so minutes. That's actually really good. A lot of those woes in the 1v1s and the 2v2s are not there in the 4v4s and 5v5s. That was really necessary. If that fight had gone wrong, if one of those objectives had gone towards IG, I would have said lights out for this game. That keeps WE within touching distance, honestly. So, Rookie. Mortal Steel Part 3 onto Vampire. Not that much damage, but still the front line going to suffer here. Dark Possession puts Monkey into a difficult position. Another Lilting Lullaby. Not Lilting Lullaby. Swell Seed lands. And the burn will continue to make Skarner's life difficult. Fate sealed into the bullet time. Monkey just about surviving. Swell Seeds. Oh my days. Just about lives. The Unbreakable. Just about enough. Bloody hell, folks. Not even close. Monkey's surely saying in all chat. Noah, you're on the same brain wave as I am. I see you in Twitch. Tier 1 in mid lane, though, will fall as a result of this. And IG get the structure. Every outer turret now down. Karis going to try and play for that top tier 1. Don't know how easy that's going to be here. Should be able to do so, I think. So there is a trade. You've got Herald. So you can try and play for that tier 1 in mid at some point. Single charge would bring that down. Actually, it's already been used, hasn't it? That's what was used mid. Apologies. Had a moment there. Let's have a look at the replay. Herald's already been dropped. Monkey forced back by that Dark Possession just wide on that Mortal Steel. And then Rookie with a Q3. He's going to unbind his soul in a second. Finds that into the seal. Bullet time combo after. But the Locket Shield, the Guardian, the Unbreakable makes it difficult. Atakan's been spotted in the picture-in-picture, though, so hold your nerves, guys. We're going right back into the action. WE want to pull this one. Monkey tries to go look for the Impale. JJ flashes out. Means he can't get into the Atakan, though. Down to 3k HP. The Shy trading out with Mako and Cube, who's in danger. Monkey down to a 3rd HP. He's going to get Q3. Can't quite go down, though. Vampire burns the Unbreakable. Cube healing up. Dominus about to proc down to 2,000 HP. Is the Atakan, though, and oh my days. They just leash it. Mako's in danger. Can look to battle dance out to safety. And they'll pick up all of those petals, and WE tried to force a fight, and Invictus Gaming were more than willing to play it. We might have to look back and see that replay. Monkey tried to take JJ out of the picture, couldn't. And the Shy and Mako Rookie and JJ were scary enough to threaten without having to burn any of their ultimates except that quickness. It's a close game. Bloody hell, even after that Artican went their way. I wonder whether that might change now. That's a very even game state. Dragon stacking's a thing. Let's have a look. Flash. Ixtal's impact. Impale went wrong. Shy and Mako doing a lot of work, and Vampire doing his best to try and decide which side he's going to go towards. Mako just about survives. Atacard nearly took him out. And Cube gets to retreat as well, but it does mean that the Atacard swiftly secured by a Watch Out Eat and Smite combo. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Second item's now completed. Oh boy. Now this is here in Ezreal a bit scarier, but then again on the other side, Shojin, Rift Maker, Stride Breakout onto some of those more mobile characters. Scary stuff from Invictus Gaming. This, I think, will be our telling point. Have IG gotten enough of a lead from those side lanes and the Atacard to make this fight theirs? Monkey, no flash, but can look to go on forward with the Ixtal's impact. Dragon secured, but they get the root. But the turnaround with the bullet time and the lilting lullaby puts Vampire into a very scary position. Gala dodges the True Shot Barrage. Cube healing up with his Cull the Meek. Turnaround makes it a 2 for 2 right now, but Gala flashes on forward to secure another. The health bars of Victor's Gaming desperately low, and Taeyun can just hop off. And hops all over him. It's a triple kill. The Ezreal unthreatened, unbothered. We're in a 4v4. Well, 4v3, I apologize. It's a great Scorpion picture. Gets me all confuzzled. But he stays alive. And Taeyun, we said he would be difficult to touch in these fights. He was difficult to touch in these fights. Now 4-0. Dragon secure, but that fight was anything but easy for Invictus Gaming. Eyes on this man now in the fights. If he isn't brought low, he's going to keep doing this. So, initially, the root lands onto one. And Gala has to cleanse and get the best bullet time ever. Karis, of course, left in a pretty tricky position. And Rookie's going to miss his Fate Seal, end up on the wrong side of the wall, so has to keep 3 back over. All the while, Taeyun is untouched. Rookie now in danger, and Gala and Mako split off as Taeyun goes flashing for that auto. Gets to jump on the Rookie as well. Really good stuff from the Ezreal. It's a good fight from JJ too, don't get me wrong. But on to who? Taeyun broke the backs of most of the carries there. But denying Soul Point gives you another 5 minutes to play around 5 grubs and 2 item solo lanes. This Yorick is going to be a problem. Skarn ults have been underwhelming, yeah. But the Braum ults, they have. The Azir ults, they have. We said it might come down to team fights, and I worried that WE have fumbled a little bit too much in the early game for them to get there. They are there now, I think. Feats of Strength secured as well. Valuable for this Azir and this Ezreal. Decide to just get that brief spike now, when things like Baron now up on the table. Delay that 3rd item spike in favor of that risky. Thanks for the sub, aka the kid. Prime value. And a good timing here. Rookie! Gonna be sealed up by the Impale. They blow him up. Turn around onto that Rakan as well. The Shy gonna be rooted by the Winter's Bite. The concussive blows. Karis nearly taken out by the Maiden. Won't do. And suddenly you've got Baron and everyone's dead. JJ and Gala nowhere to be found. How did that get set up? Oh my days. Gold lead is gone. Baron's up. WE might just have found exactly what they need to win this game. I need to see how on earth both solo laners were separated from their jungle and AD carry like that around the Baron. So Rookie just gets split off. They TP in to try and defend it. Mako goes battle dancing and quicknessing, but the Impale is there to interrupt the grand entrance, and it's perplexing stuff from IG. Cube zones off both the Renekton and the Misfortune. I just don't get it. That was awful. I wasn't expecting a fight there because there shouldn't have been a fight there. Rookie's Yone in the mid game continues to be really underwhelming. His 14th game, and it might well be his 9th loss. Can jump onto Cube here. Needs to be wary of a lilting lullaby. Won't be procs. They'll head on towards this tier 2. Can't quite get that down. Still, rapidly loses a lot of his HP bar there, courtesy of the mites. Oh, Rookie. The decision making, the side laning on this champion just hasn't been it for you, has it? Monkey knocked up. But he's just not as squishy as he once was Monkey. Still unkilled, by the way. How many times did IG try to blow him up? Karis being jumped on here. Toe in the dark procession. The Shy, though, running the other direction as Vampire holds the door between two. TPing in. This will be Rookie joining. But now Karis is in danger. Needs to be wary. Can look for an angle. Bullet time. JJ goes golden. Cube in danger. Fate sealed. Karis goes golden himself. Immunes that angle from Rookie. Health bar desperately low for Invictus Gaming. Looking to clear out the way. But they've killed off Cube. They've killed off Vampire. Into the backline goes Mako. Gets a knocker. And that's on two gods of people. Mortal Steel claims another. Now Taeyu's in danger. Tried to arcade shift away. But we all know how that show ends. In misery. They get everyone but Monkey. They can run down bot lane. They can get the Dragon and Invictus Gaming. Find their own moment. It's on the other side of the map, though. Oh, you're not entertained. JJ with some heroics. Rookie, some redemption. Let's have a look again. The Shy looks like he's been caught, but he's going to buy a lot of time. Vampire tries to hold off 3 members. It's the right decision, but they don't kill the Shy. And Karis suddenly gets TP'd onto. Nowhere to run. Mako gets out as Rookie, as JJ goes gold. I apologize. A lot of good Zonyas there. Karis and JJ with some serious value. The health bars look rough. But that Swell Seed burns out the Renekton. The Maiden helps get another. And Mako will decide to throw his life into the frying pan to cook up something for Invictus Gaming. Buys enough time for Rookie to find another Q3. They finally bring down Taeyu. No flash, no cleanse. Baron's in 2 minutes, and that could be a problem, as they say. So, folks, Mako being caught. Never mind setup time. Oh, Mako! Nice little vision play. But he has been known to get caught out at these times on the game on the Rakan, hasn't he? 0, 5, and 5. Oops. Baron in a minute. And Mako, all of your vision setup prior to Dragon goes through your support and jungle. Mako, his 3 wards plus control ward plus sweeper, not up and available to help set up for this Dragon. That could be a problem. The Shy, though, with the Sterak's now completed, is very scary if he gets time alone. Shoves out that wave and will force Cube to come on over as the Shy will roam up mid to go through there. The turret game, much better for Invictus Gaming. About 2,500 gold. Rookie unbites the soul. Can look to clear out this wave very safely now as Mako's there to defend. Nice angle from him. Don't get too much down onto him as Vampire. Will fight over vision with his opposite number. The Shy ain't leaving anytime soon though, is he? Minute and a half on Dragon. Soul point for either team now. Cloud Soul. Huh. On Rakan, on Yone, on Lilia. All very valuable. A little less good on the Yorick, has to be said. Not so great on the MF. But the move speed will be good. Infinity Edge now done for this MF as well. You think Darius is much better versus Yorick? I can see it. Can trade through the Dark Procession. The only thing is I feel like the Maiden can still be a bit of a menace. You have to play in her range a bit too much, and if you don't bring her down, life is difficult. Mako goes looking forwards, only onto Monkey. Can't quite get Taeyun as well. Tried to use the sweeper to go for the read. Never know who's going to win an LPL match until the game is over. Very true. Alright, towards the Baron we go. To determine the victor for this game, surely. Baron secured by W. The bullet time, though, is excellent! And the Azir dies. The Impale is not bad afterwards. They're trying to keep Taeyun rolling. They kill off the Rakan. JJ goes golden. GA is popped. Flash away from Monkey. Will not keep him alive. Taeyun over the wall, trying to get some value down. Cube flashes on forwards. Will at least bring the Lilia down with him. No smite now to work with on either side. Dragon's up. IG can pick it up. 2 for 3. The Baron is WE's. Don't know how much we've got to get done right now. This is 30 seconds on anyone meaningful for split pushing. And Dragon, an awful consolation prize here. Youch, the bullet time hurts now. Let's have a look again. Rookie and JJ go looking for the combo. Carrots goes golden. The Mako with the quickness buys a lot of time. Impale, not the best there. Gets some value, but not enough. Mako will die at the end of it all. And JJ goes golden. The GA down on Cube isn't up. I think you just leave there, JJ. The flash gets him killed too. Of course, down the GA, down the flash now. This Renekton is still a late game Renekton. Not having the easiest time here. This MF is so fast with the Dragon stacks. Yeah, Strut plus Cloud Soul, well, plus 3 Cloud Dragons is a very fast misfortune. She can be really problematic, actually, for some of those skill shot champions. Tell you, be playing MC Hammer this time around. Can't touch this, apparently. Did IG get the Atakan? They did, yes. It's empowering those Cloud Dragons too, reminder. Mako, stunned up briefly. Baron to work with a lot of turrets to claim for WE. If only they can find the angles. Baron should help. Rakan with 4 Cloud Drakes and a Cloud Soul. Yeah, that could be nasty. Been picked off a lot this game, but he is being asked to kind of be primary engaged into a team that's pretty set up to shut him down. Swirl Seed damage, though, really hurts. Had to be Mikhail's there as the Lilting Lullaby came on through. Harris down to 2/3/1/2. Riftmaker and Zonya's done for JDG. Makes him do a lot of work here. Monkey drives on through. Quickness traded out as the Fate Seal is going to be Zonya's. Vampire flashing away to safety. Mako still alive. Monkey in danger. Cube pops the Dominant, trying to find an angle on him. Will slice, will dice. But I don't know how well he's rolling today. Looks like the casino is IG's and the house always wins. They pick up the kill onto Cube. As the rest of WE need to run, the Swirl Seed will go bowling for soup. Trying to turn Vampire into exactly that particular bit of sustenance. Over goes Karis, tries to find something, but it's a desperation play at best. 3 members dead, Taeyun with no mana will desperately try to clear out the mid wave as Rookie. Q3 unbites the soul, looks to jump onto the Ezreal under the turret and brings him low too. Invictus Gaming punish under that tier 2. And WE will fail to capitalize on the Barons. A competitive mid-game. Some great team fights, but not a game win. Not today. No win. Off the team named after Victory. WE fall short here.